There we go. You're alive.
And Rob is still looking crazy. Are you seeing Rob as crazy, or is that just me? Like a mixed up signal video.
No, I was hoping John would think I was frozen.
I actually did. I was actually about ready to ask, is he still here?
Well, if I'm the only one who can see it, then that's fine.
Well, my life is so simple that, pretending that I'm frozen is the highlight of my week.
I'm curious as to what you're seeing, Widge.
I am seeing. Well, if I can.
You can try and share your screen.
No, I'm trying to just grab it. There we go.
Whatever the colors are in Lucky Charms, orange stars, blue clovers, all that crap. That's what he's seeing.
Well, there is green. I can't upload a file. Oh well. Hang on.
That's okay.
Go down to the bottom, you say present. You can present it.
Present!
Okay. Military flashback.
Can I do a slide? Can I add?
You can add a slide.
Yeah, here we go. Hang on.
Oh, no. Oh, wow.
Did you add it?
Nope. Still thinking about it. There we go.
Look at everybody doing cool stuff.
Well, it's a PNG file. It won't let me add it. So,
yeah,
jerks.
Oh, now you're fine though. Now he's fine.
Well, is it because I moved him? Here, let me put him back. See what happens.
Yep, that's back. It doesn't like you being down there, Rob.
All right, here, let's do that.
Oh, okay.
Nah, it's still like that.
What's like that? Sound?
What about that?
That's good.
How about this?
That's broken.
This?
That's fine.
What about that?
That's fine.
Where's Andy? I'm waiting for Andy Davis to pop up here. Come on.
How about over here?
That's
this
broken.
That
works.
I love the Dallas
thing. Jesus.
What's
I love that sort of Oliver Stone Dallas thing you had going on. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you called us here today, Widge, for
Oh Jesus, did I?
That was it. He just wanted to move pictures of us around. That was it.
It's my fault. Usually is. What?
Let me get out. I can't. Oh. That I was in my panic room.
So
yes.
Okay, so you can't do well, you can't do much on Country Beyonce, but did you see the Beatles movie news?
I saw it. Let me go back to the Beyonce thing. I mean, I heard that the Beyonce's doing a country album, right? Good for her, because when you have that kind of money, you can do whatever weird shit you want. And it'll piss off the racists. And she says that she has liked old school country, and it got me thinking, and which may be one of the few people I can make this correlation to, but there are many similarities to like old school country singers and old school soul singers, just in terms of how they handle voices and melodies and things. Mm-hmm. And I think I think that's going to be really interesting.
I think it might be good. And somebody mentioned, the racist thing, like black contributions to country music, and mentioned Charlie Pride. And I looked up Charlie Pride. I forget. I think he had, I want to say it was like 22 number ones on the country chart.
Yep.
More than Willie and more than Dolly.
Yep. And it was funny because apparently they were playing him on the radio, and then they didn't know he was black, and he was showing up at radio stations to do gigs in the Deep South. And they're like the label purposely didn't tell people he was black. Right.
That's great.
Early on. Yeah. And
that's pretty great.
Yeah. And the other thing too is Charlie Pride wrote a lot of songs for people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good for him.
And now she might have a chance of getting album of the year or something.
I don't know.
Because she can go country music, then back to pop, and then that's how you
it didn't work
that many Grammys.
Well, it didn't work well for Wesley Willis, so I don't know how it's going to work for her.
Yeah, it's worked
So-
well for Tay
Yeah.
Tay.
But I mean, good for her if she does it. Widge had mentioned the Beatles thing, that they're doing 4 separate Beatle movies. Is that right? Like a bio for each Beatle is getting a movie.
That's going to intersect. Yes.
So it's basically the Avengers, but with the Beatles.
I thought about it that way, but yes.
Interesting.
And it's Sam Mendes doing it, so it's at least going to be interesting.
Yeah, I heard Paul Dano might play John Lennon.
Ooh. Huh. That's not bad.
No, I'm kind of like, I've been thinking about that one a little bit, and I'm like, ooh.
Well, my suggestion was that they should just get Peter Serafinowicz to play all 4.
Or Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis is
Ringo.
oh wow. I don't know. It sounds and it made it sound like they're all going to come out like the same year. So it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Production on that's going to be nuts.
the Beatles are in everything now. There's a Doctor Who Beatles episode coming up. There's 4 Beatle movies coming up. There's another probably documentary coming at some point. I'm
Really?
guessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoko turned 95. Was it 95 this week? Or 90?
know.
Yoko had a birthday this week. I found a version of
91.
91. I found a version of Walking on Thin Ice with Yoko Ono and Jason Pierce of Spiritualized, and it is just like loud and my head hurts. So that's good.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is it in a good way or is it in a?
It's in that sort of like, why is Yoko Ono singing in a My Bloody Valentine song kind of way? Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh.
I'll just say this about Yoko Ono. She's pretty kooky.
A
But
bit.
Wow, you're really going out on a ledge there.
yes, I am.
Oh, hold on. Let me call Fox News and let them know.
They already know.
They already know.
Probably because
You
they
know,
cover all the real
What I
news.
really want somewhere in the world, just one day, I want Yoko Ono. Just pick a state or a city. I don't care. I want Yoko Ono to do the weather somewhere. That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Could do a guest appearance on David Lynch's weather report.
Yeah. I had a weird idea once
Yes.
that when I was in New York, I went to the Dakota, and I'm like, I'm just going to walk into the Dakota and see what happens. So, you walk in and Yoko Ono has an entire floor. You can't get up to it. Just take my advice. You cannot just walk in and
Did
to
you
the
try?
I got all the way to like the 4th floor, and I said, "Hey, how do I get up to the 9th floor?" Like, well, who are you here to see? I'm here. I literally, because I may have been to the pub, said, "I'm here to see Yoko Ono," and they said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm a friend of Lou Reed's," and they said, "Oh." So then I got up to the 6th floor, and I just see a security person there, and then they set me down. But the point is, I got like 3 floors from Yoko Ono. Which, if I met Yoko Ono, I don't know what the fuck I would do. I just wanted to walk in to the Dakota because the Dakota itself is a beautiful building, regardless of who lives there. It's beautiful, right? But yes, this is why I'm not allowed without an adult supervisor. We probably could have made it if Rox was with me. But
Yeah. You know what? I think Rox and Yoko Ono would probably get along.
yeah, somewhere there's a world where they have tea.
And hopefully somebody films it.
Or what they do is they trade. Rox stays in Yoko's apartment and paints, and Yoko Ono does all Rox's mediation for the day.
I would contribute to a GoFundMe to make that happen.
Yeah.
GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Patreon, doesn't matter. I'm in.
Yep. Did we have any comments or anything, John? I thought I saw the screen.
Yeah,
first.
yeah. Jennifer says it's like
Oh,
the
hi,
Decalogue
Jennifer.
with the Beatles.
Yeah, except there's no French.
There could be.
Yeah.
There could be.
Is Juliette Binoche going to play Yoko Ono? Because I think that could be wrong.
Wow.
That could just be wrong. But I am excited about that, though. I think I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the hardest one to cast. Really, I don't think Lennon's going to be that hard. I think it might be Ringo. Ringo or Harrison might be the hardest.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's only so many parts Chalamet can play, so.
And so many beaches and dunes he can look over.
Yeah, no, I've heard that he might be McCartney. So I was like, yeah, we'll see. The only thing I've heard the hard evidence for is that Paul Dano. So
who did you say he was going to play?
Lennon, which I can kind of see.
The Russian leader?
Yes.
It's a weird turn. It's actually it's 3 Beatles and the Russian leader.
Yeah. What's great about that is the guy who plays Stalin, that guy's a card. Cracks me up. All those gulag jokes. What's good for the gulag is good for the gander. That's my new band.
That's the name of the band, the whole thing?
Yeah. They're probably from like Brixton on Swayne or something, some weird town in England that's got like weird names, or like Perfunctory on Beach or Cardboard on Table, whatever. They have those weird.
Ham on Rye.
Yeah. Sunshine on Leith is an album. Leon C, that's the one. Leon C. So
Leon C sounds like perhaps a
birthplace
R&B
of John,
singer.
Yeah, birthplace of John Cleese.
Ah.
They had a statue of him, and then he got weird and they took it down.
If they took it down in the style that we were taking down
Yes.
Confederate generals, then
Yes.
I hope somebody got that on film. That I would like to see.
Probably Eric Idle.
Oh, did you see
I know.
Eric Idle's comments
Yes.
recently? So funny. He said that for those who did not know, and I'm paraphrasing, and Rob can help me out here, but basically was saying that, Python is out of money. They haven't made any money because apparently
Netflix doesn't pay?
No, it's because what is it? Holly Gilliam is running things or helping running things, and
Gilliam's daughter's running it, and apparently like the money just goes right to them.
Oh,
right to the Gilliam.
Some of it, yeah. There's some kind of weird because
Gilliam or Gillum?
Gilliam.
Yeah.
Gilliam. I had it right the first time.
Yeah, basically, I think the dynamic is Palin's got enough other shit that he doesn't care, right? Cleese is getting old and has wives to pay, so he's out touring. Idle's working his ass off. That's kind of the vibe.
Normal. That's
Yeah.
just his normal vibe, it seems like.
Yeah. So that just kind of seems to be how it is.
Yeah, and then not only he said that, but then what was it? His daughter or someone chimed in on Twitter and was like, "I'm glad you're finally saying something."
Yeah,
I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, and it seemed like for a while there were camps. It was kind of like Idle Gilliam on one side and Cleese and Gilliam on one side and Idle and
Palin
on the other. But Palin seems to be the in-between guy, right? He kind of seems to be the Ringo. But yeah, I saw that and I was just like, wow, how much of it is Eric Idle just being bitter and how much of it is rooted in fact? And I think it's somewhere in between. I think Eric Idle would not like to be working till he's 80, apparently, but I think that somewhere along the line they signed a really shitty royalties deal and they just can't get it back. That's part of it, I think. I mean, but then you have to wonder where all the Spamalot money go? Wasn't most of Spamalot Idle?
I thought so. I don't think any of the others had a stake in it.
Yeah, and it just got reissued. Reissued. It just got restaged with like a new version of it. So I mean,
well, and I know that it's available to rent for like everything from high schools up. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Then they took out the Lancelot stuff, right? I think that's what Cleese was upset about. Was it Lancelot? No, it wasn't Lancelot. It was which one was it? It was the how do you say it?
How do you
I don't know,
say?
the sort of homophobic piece that was in there, or overtly.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about? Which song I'm talking about? Because I know that
I'm not as
Cleese
familiar
was-
with the musical, actually.
Cleese was upset about it, about Idol wanting to remove it because it didn't fit. You know, when I saw it with my kids here, that was the one thing that they were like, you know, you really didn't need to go do that. The rest of the show was fantastic
Mm.
and fun, but there was, you know, where he was what the heck is the name of that song?
I'm looking at the list of songs. Oh, is
Yeah.
is Finland in there? The Finland song? It says that on Wikipedia, which is always right. So who knows? Yeah, I don't.
Let me look. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
No, it's
Yeah, no idea. Good Lord.
it might be his name is Lancelot. I might have been right the first time.
Oh, okay.
Let me look it up.
Anyway, it says it's based on the film.
Right.
So the film was written by all of them. So I guess they must get something. But I don't know. I don't know how that works. And apparently they were going to do a film of that, but Idol said that 2 of the Pythons vetoed it. So
And they had the ability to do that?
I mean, it makes sense if, you know, they have it set up to where if they all have to agree to do something. But yeah, so, and I would guess that would be Cleese and Gilliam. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the comments were surprising. And what else? Oh, so I'm sure everyone has seen the Deadpool trailer at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yes,
interesting.
a few times.
Yeah, so, you know, spoilers for season 1 of Loki anyway, but it just made me happy to see the TVA show up in that.
Now, the various things that I've read or I've looked at and I've watched and whatnot, it's actually the TVA that shows up as a TVA post Loki season 2.
Oh, which I haven't seen yet. Okay.
Yeah. And the reason why they, at least people are pointing this out, is because of the logo. The logo is different. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Did I get that right? I might be getting it wrong. It's very possible.
I don't know.
Who knows? But it's because in the series they have their numbers on their helmets.
Right.
In the trailers, it says TVA. It's just a TVA logo.
Okay.
So the thought process is was it either before or after? It has to be. I guess it has to be after the events of, because everyone lost their numbers. Not to spoil too much about season 2, but there's a very important ending to that you kind of got to.
Yeah, I need to watch that. Yep. And so let's see. What am I looking for here? Why is this not loading? What is happening?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know either. This coffee isn't working very well. So So we find out that all the TVA people are clones of Jango Fett. Is that what it is? Right. Yeah. Apparently they're saying that the desert that Deadpool winds up in the trailer, he gets smacked and hits what's obviously the bottom of the 20th Century Fox logo, and there's a copy of one of the Secret Wars comics lying on the ground near him.
Yeah.
And so the theory is that instead of Battle World, that void that was introduced in Loki season 1 is going to be where the Secret Wars battles or whatever would take place. But I mean, I think they've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, as someone once said.
Who was that? That sounds like a song of some sort.
I think it was Socrates.
No.
But yeah, I don't know how you get there from where they are right now, as I understand where they are, because I'm woefully behind on everything. But,
well, the beauty of how they've set all this up, and especially with Loki, as long as everyone watches Loki, is that and I mean, and they've done it in the actual Marvel universe, proper movie universe, if you will, the movie part of it. I mean, all of it's part of the Marvel universe. Is because I swear we must have talked about this 1,000 times about how do you, when Chris Evans leaves, how do you replace him? How do you replace, any character, right? Any actor that leaves the MCU, is that they've slowly woven it in that yes, there's a multiverse. Yes, anybody can be anybody, right? And if you saw obviously in Loki, even Loki season 1, Loki doesn't have to look like Loki.
Yeah.
Loki doesn't have to look like Tom Hiddleston. He can look like whoever Sophie.
Yeah, I forget the actress's name, but yes,
the actress' name is. Can look like a freaking alligator, for crying out loud.
Yep.
So it was in season 1, right? That was in season 1.
Yep.
So I didn't want to spoil it for you. So the way that they've woven all that together, and especially at the end of Loki, when you kind of see how everything kind of lays out, winds up laying out, and by the way, solves their Kang problem. To be honest with you, though,
really?
in Loki, when Kang does show back up, he still was Jonathan Majors. Is that his name?
Yep.
He's still Jonathan Majors. Now I know he's not going to be working with Disney anymore, but it solves that problem, right? Because Kang doesn't have to be Kang.
Yeah,
Kang doesn't have to be Jonathan Majors, I suppose.
Somebody told me that there was something in Quantumania, which I have not seen, that said that all Kangs looked like Jonathan Majors.
Yes. So,
but that doesn't have to be the truth, because that could just be that's all the ones that they know of or something.
Correct. And also, if you saw, again in Loki season 1 at the end, He Who Remains, everyone looked like He Who Remains, which was ultimately Kang, right? But that doesn't mean that given past press or given precedent, that doesn't have to be that way, right? For all we know, you're right. Kang could have come from the Kang that they're fighting could be a different Kang altogether,
right?
If they still go that route, by the way, I mean, I think it's still called Rise, or was it Rise of Kang, or
the Kang Destiny, Kang Dynasty, Destiny. Wasn't it?
Dynasty.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, I mean, yeah, you could basically do the same thing that was done in Gilliam's Parnassus, which is have multiple actors playing the same role, and it would make perfect sense. Having the Fantastic Four casting come out and getting Pedro Pascal confirmed, I think it's going to be great. But I put forward the theory that's going to be wrong, but all my theories are. But that I don't know if you're familiar with what happened to the ultimate version of Reed Richards in the comics.
No,
you?
I do not.
Okay. He went evil. I'm not exactly sure the details, but he is now evil. And so you got the smartest man in the MCU or the Marvel universe, evil, and he goes by the Maker. And so my idea was,
I do kind of recall that, but go on.
so my idea was, you bring back Krasinski as the Maker.
Which, by the way,
He
I
was
thought he
great.
looked fantastic. I thought he looked fantastic as
Oh yeah,
Richard.
and I'm fine with
So,
him.
Richards.
If it wasn't for the fact that he was in that shitty movie, I would be fine with him being Reed Richards once, just for fan service, and be over.
Which movie?
Multiverse of bleh. The one he was in, Krasinski.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was like, I didn't know he had a full length movie in the Marvel universe. I'm like, wait a minute.
But my idea was
he Reed Richards in a Sony version of this?
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
God.
No.
But my idea was, so he got spaghettified by Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he put himself back together, if he was able to put himself back together, but he was changed by the experience and became twisted and evil, if they brought back
Krasinski, Kang. Why not? Why can't he be
the Maker? That would be a hell of a twist, but the Maker, I think, would be so cool, partly because Krasinski is such, is a nice guy who normally plays relatively nice guys, and evil Reed Richards is not a nice guy. And what he's doing right now in the comics is he's basically created a world where he intercepted all of the catalysts that made superheroes. So he has the radioactive spider. He has, Thor separated from Mjolnir in prison. He has, and so there's no superheroes. And the ones that are there are evil and are basically running the world. And the last thing I saw, Wakanda and Khonshu were about to go to war. So it's intriguing. But yeah, I would love some kind of twist for Kang. The thing that I worry about with Secret Wars is that unless you have the Russo brothers or an equivalent running those two films with their ability and the writers and everybody else who was involved to juggle that many characters, then I don't know.
And to shoot action.
And
to choreograph and shoot action. Yeah.
And to
so it's not confusing.
Yeah. So it's not confusing, and to give you moments that actually mean something. So it's not all it's not just kicking ass and blowing things up. So, but I don't know. I mean, it could be a hell of a lot of fun, and I hope I don't know where they go from there. Because I mean, what's after that?
After Secret Wars?
Yeah.
Infinity War?
Well, I mean, oh, they already did. There was. I'm trying to think. In Marvel, there was Infinity Everything. There was Infinity Gauntlet, and then there was Infinity War, and then there was Infinity Squad. It was just basic. Everything was Infinity.
Secret Invasion?
They did Secret Invasion, and it was shite.
I know.
Although, if Olivia Colman gets her own series, then I will forgive a lot. Because Olivia Colman is basically... I just want to see Olivia Colman and Julia Louis-Dreyfus facing off. Just give me one scene in Thunderbolts where they have a discussion. Because I think that would be great.
Oh, are they doing Thunderbolts? They are doing Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah, it's in production. It's it's happening. It's in production here, in fact. So, and it's funny because it occurred to me the other day. It's Suicide Squad done correctly. You take all of these characters, you introduce them organically in different films, then you bring them together, as opposed to Suicide Squad, which was, oh hey, here's all these villains. And even with that, you could have made it good, but we had to wait for James Gunn to show up for there to be a good Suicide Squad.
I mean, I guess Infinity War was actually the first Thanos plot, though. So, to a degree, because I mean, Infinity War is just him trying to get the gauntlet,
Yeah.
get all the stones. So,
Yeah.
I guess I already did Infinity War.
Well, the comic book, I forget what the comic book is, because I think that was when I was slowly phasing out. Let's see, Marvel Comics with Infinity in the title.
So, according
go.
to Chat GPT, which is
Yep.
never wrong,
Right.
Infinity War was a major crossover event in Marvel Comics, yada yada yada. 1992, which is about when I was reading it. So,
Right.
revolves around the powerful villain Thanos, who seeks to obtain Infinity Gems, also known as Infinity Stones, in the Marvel Comic Cinematic Universe.
Right.
Thanos collects these gems, each possessing immense power, places them in a gauntlet called the Infinity Gauntlet. With the completed gauntlet, Thanos gains omnipotence, allowing him to reshape reality as he sees fit. Yes, I mean, it's essentially that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did.
So in the comics, you had Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, Infinity, just Infinity. Then you had What If Infinity. Then you had Thanos the Infinity X. There were different versions of that. Infinity Countdown. I'm not even kidding. Then Infinity Wars, which is obviously done by James Cameron. And oh my, are you fucking kidding me? Is this real? Hang on. Oh my God, it is real. Infinity Warps. So they added a P to it. And then
the crossover with Compound W called Infinity Warts.
No, that's what I was thinking of. Watch. So Warlock and the Infinity Watch, Infinity Abyss, Infinity Entity, and the Infinity Crusade. This is ridiculous. It just kept going. It's, you know what? It's like,
well, I mean, it is Infinity, so it can
true.
keep going.
It's like DC with Crisis. The number of things that DC has done that have Crisis in the title, until they finally ran out and had to call it, what was the last one? Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth something? I don't even know. So,
hold on. Yeah, well,
make them stop. But yeah. So I mean, there's other stuff they could do. I fear for them. I don't want them to reboot everything. I don't want them to come to the end of Secret Wars and reboot everything. Because I mean,
okay,
Chris Evans is not going to come back.
No,
Robert Downey's not going to come back. They might come back for cameos, but
that's what I'm thinking. They might come back as alternate versions of alternate versions.
Well, I think you could already do the alternate versions. Like, I loved the idea, the rumor that Tom Cruise was going to play an alternate Tony Stark. I thought that would have been great, especially Arno Stark. If he was Arno Stark, that would be awesome.
So the Crisis titles are Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was 85 to 86.
Yep.
0 Hour, Crisis in Time, which is 94.
Oh, I forgot they put that subtitle on there. Yeah. Okay.
Infinite Crisis, which was 2005 to 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Final Crisis. Hey, Widge, how much you betting that Final Crisis is misnamed?
Not the final.
It's not the final. I know it's not the final. Because
2008 to 2009. Then Flashpoint, which is not officially titled Crisis, but Flashpoint is often considered the crisis event due to the universe, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then Convergence, which was 2015.
Is that what they're calling Dark Crisis? Whatever it was? There was a Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. Dark Crisis. Yeah, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. You're probably looking at an older piece of information because that was 2022. It was not great.
Oh, okay.
But
You are correct. It is older.
Yeah, that's okay. But I mean, you know, because for a while there, I thought they were calling it Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, oh my God, they've had to reuse. It's like Secret Wars. They've done everything. They have to reuse the title now. But anyway, I mean, that's DC. It's like every 6 months they have to reboot everything. So, but yeah, I don't want them to reboot the MCU. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. It would be great. And hopefully when Captain America New World Order comes out, it will be great.
Have you watched Echo yet?
No. I haven't watched.
And neither have I.
Far behind.
Neither have I.
But
Yeah.
that trailer looked badass. So I want to watch that. I haven't even watched What If, which I was fucking dying to see. That's how crazed I've been. So, because that came out at the end of the year. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I haven't caught up on What If yet either. I don't know. I guess I to a degree I've been burned out on Marvel movies for the universe for a bit. I mean,
I think
after
everybody
Loki,
is.
after Loki, well, you know what it was? I'll tell you what it was.
Yeah.
It was the goddamn Secret Invasion. I didn't even finish Secret Invasion. I got through like episode 3, and I'm just like,
you didn't miss anything.
I need a break from this.
The only thing you need to do, and I found a couple of these scenes on YouTube, is just Google Olivia Colman Secret Invasion and make sure you've watched all of her stuff. Because she's brilliant. And in fact, the setup that they do with her at the end, like I said, if they were going to do an MI13 or Excalibur series or anything with her, I would be so happy because she was fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, no, you're not missing much. But you saw what they did. I mean, spoilers for Secret Invasion. They nerfed Nick Fury. So it's just.
Well, they nerfed him from episode 1. I mean, there's no spoiler there.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't redeem itself. I guess that's the spoiler.
Well, that's unfortunate because.
Yeah, I didn't need to know that the only reason Nick Fury was as effective as he was because he had Skrulls running around being spies for him.
Yeah.
I didn't need to know that was his only reason for being that good. And
right. It almost makes everything that happened before it sort of pointless.
Cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then
not pointless, but cheaper. Yeah, cheaper is a better term for it.
Yeah, cheaper. Yeah. But basically it's like, because part of the problem in Secret Invasion is they're trying to find them a new homeworld.
Right.
And you have Captain Marvel, you have like the Guardians, you have Asgardians, you have people in space.
Then you have tons of places to go.
You have Stargates that can take you places.
They have been everywhere with populations.
Yes. And so you can't
sparsely populated.
You can't tell me that they couldn't have found in that amount of time a nice world that would have fit exactly whatever they put on their custom order form for the new homeworld.
Yeah. And that trope's been done so many times, you think they would have known that.
Well, and the fact that basically Fury didn't provide the homeworld, not only was he nerfed, but he's a bit of a dick. And it's like, if he is a dick, Nick Fury is a dick for a really good reason. You know what I mean? He's a dick.
Because of national security.
It was a national security dick.
Right.
Or a dick
World
for
security.
the greater good. A moral dick. But it's not. That wasn't the case here. It was just, I guess I got too busy. So
he was just using people to climb the corporate ladder. That's all he was. Ultimately, what he became was just some
I guess
corporate shill.
I guess. And I didn't even mind what they did with Emilia Clarke. So, but I we said spoilers for Secret Invasion. I could tell you, John. In fact, this may have happened before you signed off on it, but basically, yeah, thank you. But she's basically the Super Skrull. They gave her the powers.
Well, I got far enough along to know that they were trying to build the Super Skrull. trying to make the Super Skrull.
Well, basically, what's his face, the main villain guy, who was also good, and he's playing Bob Marley in the Marley biopic. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I hope that's good. Anyway, so he.
I mean, have you seen the trailer for it though?
No, is there a
it's-
trailer out?
For One Love, for Bob Marley, One Love. It's
Yeah,
played. It's already out in the
seen it.
theaters, but it's been played constantly. Every time I go to the movie theater, it was always on there. It was
Huh.
it. I think the film got delayed by like a year or 2 years or something
Mm,
coming
okay.
out, and but they had already produced the trailer, so it was just always every time I go, and you would have to go to specific movies, like you'd have to go to one of AMC's what do they call those? Their artisan collection
Oh yeah.
films, but it would always be there. It'd always be in front of it, regardless. It got so much that Sage, my youngest kid, rather, they would we, we we were talking about it. And we're like, oh well, I bet the trailer's on here. And sure enough, we were. Oh, where would we go see? We went and saw. By the way, another movie to see with your kid. What's it called? The Emma Stone.
Things. Poor Things.
Pretty Poor Things. Yeah, one saw Poor Things with them, and we just looked at each other when we came up and started laughing because it was in front of that as well. But yeah. So he was, you're right. He was good. What else has he been in? He's been in
I don't know. But yeah, it looks like it came out. Bob Marley came out
like 2 weeks ago.
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
2 weeks ago. As of this recording, 2 weeks ago.
And it's
yeah.
doing really well too, which I think really surprised a lot of people.
But I mean,
Well,
it's
let's just say
internationally, it'll
Yeah.
be it should be huge because I mean,
Yeah.
Marley's loved
Everywhere.
everywhere, and
Yeah.
in fact, he was on Graham Norton talking about that about
oh,
what. Wait, yep. What?
it was okay. You last saw him in Barbie movie, but he was also in the Eternals.
Yeah.
Who was he in the
Um,
Eternals?
But I don't know who he was in the Eternals.
I don't see that in Wikipedia, which is always right.
He must have played a small part. But isn't he also the guy from Bridgerton?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, No,
No.
you're right. Kingsley. In Eternals, he was. Hold on, just had it up just a second ago. Oh, it doesn't give his character name. Shoot.
What?
Am I getting him confused with somebody else? The
I
Bridgerton
think
guy?
so. Hang on.
He was in World War Z too. He was in Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, he's in World War Z. This is one part in World War Z. Hang on. Now I'm confused. I know it's not the Bridgerton guy, but I don't remember.
No, it isn't. You're right. It isn't.
Bridgerton guy is in Eternals or not. What's that guy's name? I don't remember his name.
guy from Bridgerton?
Yeah.
Kingsley Ben Adir, which is the actor we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
That was in Secret Invasion, is also playing Bob Marley. Was he in the TV show Hive?
Roger-
Yeah, he was in the TV show Hive.
Roger Jean Page?
Right.
That's who you're thinking of, I think.
They have a
Yeah.
very similar look.
Gotta be all racist.
I know.
But
there's no getting around it. All right. I'm just saying. You put them. Never mind. I didn't watch Bridgerton. At the end of the day, I didn't watch Bridgerton, so I didn't know. So
I didn't either. The only thing I know about Bridgerton is Nicola. Oh, it's spelled Coughlin, but I don't know how it's pronounced.
They look almost identical. Very suave.
They got the suave thing down. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
probably
Nicola
both
Coughlin,
British.
I'm saying her
both
name
can
wrong,
walk around with their shirts only buttoned at the middle button.
Anyway,
that kind of.
She was on one of the Taskmaster New Year's treats.
Who was?
One of the cast of Bridgerton, Nicola
Oh,
Coughlin. I can't say her last name. I don't know what it is.
looking.
And she was hilarious.
Trying to remember which one
She-
this was.
It was 2 years ago, maybe.
Oh, yes.
She was hilarious.
I know who you're talking about. Yes, she was. Yeah.
And she was the one who really wanted to be on the real Taskmaster. But-
And she was also in Dairy Girls. And I believe
Yes, that's right.
no, she's not the same person that's in we just watched a movie the other night that had no, it was the other girl.
Oh, her.
Sikorsky Monica. Sikorsky Monica, whatever her name is.
Okay, if you
Sikorsky
say so.
Monica Jackson. She was in a movie that we just watched. Sonia and I just watched the other night. What the heck was that called?
That
It was. Oh, it was an Amazon film. It was
okay.
up. It was some rom com. From the Dairy Girls. I don't know how we got. How did we get on this path
I
again?
don't know. We're talking about Secret Invasion, but you've reminded
Why
me.
were we talking about Secret Invasion?
I have no idea what is even happening.
It's
right
a
now.
secret.
Yeah, it's true. It's on a need to know basis, and trust me, neither of us.
The
need to
thing
know.
is, we have already said more good things about Secret Invasion than most press people.
I mean, we've said all that there is to say that's good about Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Honestly,
When do I get more Moon Knight?
I don't know. I would like more Moon Knight.
I would like more Moon Knight too.
I would be happy. I would be happy with. I mean, so here's the thing, and I don't know if this is addressed in the Marvels, which I have not seen. I gotta fix some of this before we record another fucking episode. But basically, you had the rings that Shang-Chi has, which, if you remember from the end, I guess spoilers for Shang-Chi, but at the end of the movie, they say, we tested them and they're older than the known universe. And then you had Miss Marvel's bangle, which is some mystical thing. And then you had this thing of mystical objects, which I thought was going to play into the overall story at some point. And I don't know if Moon Knight figures into that or not. My hope is that whatever they come out with next, which is Deadpool, in fact, that's all they have coming out this year. But my hope is that does really well so we can shut some of these fucking people up about superhero fatigue. Because I'm so tired of that lazy trope. Because there is no such thing as superhero fatigue. Because I say to folks, if you think you have superhero fatigue, do the thought experiment where you think of your favorite superhero movie. Doesn't have to be Marvel, doesn't have to be recent. Could be Blade, could be Mystery Man, could be the first Superman. It doesn't fucking
Could
matter.
be Blade trilogy.
I mean, listen,
Trinity.
everybody, I have a soft spot in my heart for Megaforce. I can't say shit about anybody's taste in movies except yours for not liking Casablanca. That's the only rule. But basically,
I mean, there's no proof Casablanca is a good film. So go on.
anyway, but basically, if you think about
It's
your
plenty
favorite
Barbara
superhero
is, though.
movie, and you that you love, and one of two things: either you have one or you don't, and then you don't have superhero fatigue. You just don't like superhero movies. So that's another thing. But
Your
if
name's Martin Scorsese.
I still have that shirt. But basically, if I told you that the next 3 superhero movies that were going to come out were on par or better than your favorite superhero movie, if you still were like, I don't want to see them because they're a superhero movie, no, you would probably be like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I would do that. So it's not superhero fatigue. It's bad superhero fatigue. It's bad movie
Right. It's a
fatigue.
story.
Yeah, it's a story. It's a story, and because part of it is like with
Production.
Secret Invasion, I'm sure that given enough time, they could have fixed what was wrong with Secret Invasion.
Mhm.
But they got caught up in this engine of trying to create content instead of making it good content. Because as we've discussed many, many times on here, you know, take as long as you need and do it correctly. And, you know,
We have lots of other stuff to watch.
yeah, we're good. We're good for right now. Thanks. You know, so, so yeah, that's that. So there's no superhero fatigue. There's bad movie fatigue. And so I'm
Right.
hoping that Deadpool comes out, is fantastic, does shitloads of box office. Then, you know, granted, we have to deal with the whole, well, see, when you don't make a, you know, a movie about, what was it? I saw it called the MCU for female-led MCU
Oh.
projects. Fucking hell. I mean, you have to deal with that with these idiots, but still, I would just like that to go.
I
with
mean, it is on both of us because we've not watched Marvels yet, but
yeah, it's not just on us. It's not just on us. Because there's all these people online who I've seen who I'm like, I didn't even go looking for it. And I see all the time on Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook, wherever. Oh, hey, I'm watching the Marvels on Disney Plus. This is actually really good. So, but, you know, you got to get people to, even if your movie's good, if it doesn't pass the 300 test, then they're not going to pay the. I mean, what are you paying now to go see a movie, John? What is it now?
$13
Yeah.
a seat.
Yeah.
Depending upon when you go see it.
Yeah.
I mean, lately I've been doing the Amazon or the Amazon. Yeah, might as well. The AMC screen unseen stuff. So
What's that?
well, like once a month they'll have a film at AMC that is, they don't tell you what the film is.
Oh God.
It's not been seen at AMC theaters. And they charge you $5 for it, but it's usually on a Monday night.
Yeah.
And at least in my area, they've opened up like 3 theaters for it, and they've been pretty full. And you just go see a movie and you don't know what it is.
So it hasn't played at AMC before.
Correct. So it's essentially what they're charging you for is a what they used to give away for free, which is a screening, right? So like a preview or whatever, preview screening.
Oh, okay. So it's always a new film.
It's always a new film,
Okay.
right? It's always a film that's going to be coming out. What's been a couple of weeks in advance, and they always, so far, they've always fallen into the artisan category. So, like, I saw was one of them, the Next Goal Wins, which was it was okay.
Mm.
I saw Cast. I think it was called Cast. Whatever, Cast, the story of our discontent. The movie that's based on the book Cast, but it's about the author writing. I don't know if you're familiar with that book at all.
No.
But anyway, it's a book that was written. It's best time New York Sellers best seller, New York Times bestseller, or whatever.
Sounds like adaptation.
It came out after George Floyd. Was it after George? No, it was after. Sorry, she wrote it after. The boy that was shot here in Florida.
Oh.
Oh God, I should know his name. You know he was shot by a guy named George, ironically. Oh God, I wish somebody could help me with this. I guess Google could help me with it. Anyway, it's a book about ostensibly about racism, but also about how it's not it purports to basically be about that really where
Trayvon Martin.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So I didn't. I
Stanford,
couldn't
Florida.
remember where he had been shot. I knew.
I couldn't either. Yeah.
Stanford, Florida. Here in Florida. Of course, why not? Yeah, but it's about it draws parallels between, you know, what happened in Germany and how they handled what happened after the Holocaust, and what continues to go on to today in India and also America.
Caste. C-A-S-T-E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was the word. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what that. So I saw that. Saw Cast. Saw there's like 3 or 4 other ones that they're
I
slipping my
mean,
mind. The Jeffrey Wright film.
American
American
Fiction.
Isn't
American
that great?
Fiction. That was a really good film. I liked it.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot. It was fantastic. They had a screening of that here at the film festival. I think it was the last the last weekend.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic. And Jeffrey Wright he's great and everything, but he really does kind of humor well here, which is fantastic. And sort of, he's got this sort of like very dry, sort of acerbic wit going on in it, which is really suits him. I mean, I think it's really going to grow his career just because he's doing something sort of outside the box of what he normally does.
Mm.
And
it is serious, but he is funny as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great film. I liked it. And again, I saw it not knowing what I was going in to see. I mean, you can look at the Reddit threads on it, and people have guesses on what it's going to be because, as you can see, it sort of follows a pattern.
Right.
It's sort of that area of where it's not a huge film. I mean, at one point, somebody literally on one of the Reddit threads they were going, "Oh, maybe it's going to be, Argyle," which hindsight probably would have benefited from it, but I'm like, that movie has got way too much, promotion budget for it to be one of these films or whatever. But they also do Scream Unseen, which is the horror version of that. So
nice.
So I think Lisa Frankenstein was one of them that they put out.
Yeah, I'm wondering about
most
that.
recently. My daughter, actually both my kids, have seen it. I didn't ask Sage what they thought of it, but my daughter saw it 3 times, I think.
It looked like a non-animated version of Corpse Bride to me, but just sort of reversed.
I think it's more like the old school 80s sort of horror, quote unquote horror film.
Right.
And I mean they've also done, I think back in Halloween time, last year Halloween, I think they did like one of the Exorcists that was coming out at the time.
Was that big? What was it? Shit, the one with the
I don't
two
really
girls
go
in
see
it.
What's that? Yeah,
Was
I think
that
it
the
had the one with
okay.
the two girls. But I don't actually watch horror films. I'm not a horror fan. I actually try to stay away from horror films in general. But I just not my cup of tea. Let's put it this way: Doctor Who's more of my cup of tea than horror films are.
Wow,
that'll give you an idea of how much I don't like horror films. I mean, I'm bruised from childhood when in middle school watched Faces of Death at a
Jesus Christ.
Right, exactly, at a sleepover. And then what was the next thing that just sort of turned me off of horror films in general, which was I can't remember what it was, but it was another film along those same lines, and I was just like, okay, I'm not
some shit like Cannibal Holocaust or something.
Nah, it wasn't. I don't think it was anything like that. I think it was still more. I mean, it's funny because in college I actually did watch Hellraiser a few times, but it was mostly because of just the lines in there that the dialogues, the quotes that you could pull out of that. But outside of that, it's
what was going on where you were like, you know what I need in college? I need some Clive Barker lines.
We have eternity to know your flesh. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
it's a great pickup line on the college campus.
Yeah,
chicks love it.
They do. Not so much anymore. I've learned that when I go to college now and I use those lines, they don't react the same way.
Oh my God,
it's weird.
Yeah, no, I just looked at Argyle, and
I thought it was going to be a fun movie, but apparently,
so you've seen it.
Oh no, I have not seen it, but everything I've heard says a different story.
Wow,
which is Sam Rockwell. I gotta imagine Sam Rockwell probably was the best part of that film.
Sam Rockwell's always great.
because yeah, he's always great. And you know, also what's it, Henry Cavill as well, but I don't know. I was looking up the season 2 release date for Moon Knight, and they have not even begun working on it.
They haven't announced it yet. There's been nothing.
Yeah. There is a note here that originally the in the description on Disney Plus it said series finale, but they later changed it to season finale in the description. You know, if you hover over it or whatever. So I guess there's still a chance that there will be one.
I mean, it's possible because that was great. That was.
I wasn't ever really sure what I was watching, which I suppose is the point.
A bit, yeah. I mean,
I didn't know, you know, because he was crazy. I wasn't sure how much of this was, you know.
Exactly. Which I loved. I loved that you didn't know where him being crazy ended and reality begins. And I thought that F. Murray Abraham as the voice of Khonshu was like
R.I.P.
Yeah, but the best casting. I mean, it was just when I saw that, I was like, the first episode, I was like, who is that? I know that voice. Who is that? And I saw it at the end, and I was like, oh. But
yeah, he was also great in oh god, I can't remember the name of the show now.
It was a show
on Apple TV. On Apple TV, one of my favorite shows of all time, and I cannot pull the name.
Is Mythic Quest on
Mythic Quest? Mythic Quest.
I didn't know if it was on Apple.
Yeah, it was on Apple TV. Yeah, he was an Apple, and it's funny because Rob McElhaney, who runs that and you know rolls with our boy Ryan now these days. He talked about how during one of the things with, if you watch the episodes that were shot up and around COVID, which I think was season 2 or 3. I think it was 3. F. Murray Abraham only appears on screen through either iPads or on a TV or something like that, because he wanted him to be part of it, but he also did not want him risking his life. He didn't want to be the guy who was responsible for killing the man by having him around somebody and getting sick. And then, you know, so they did the best that they could. And it's interesting because they did a good job in that of releasing his
did you say R.I.P.?
Isn't he dead?
No.
I thought he died.
No. I was about to say I didn't remember.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, he's supposed to be on stage in Queen of Versailles starring Kristen Chenoweth.
Well, then who just recently died?
He was faking his death, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
What? What? Quoi?
Okay. Well, now I'm sad that I read this. I thought he had passed on. I thought he had died. Then who who recently died, Widge? Tell me who recently died.
Let me see.
Like at the end of
someone named Stan. No. Now someone named Sally. No. Now
he is still alive. Okay. So I thought, for some reason, I thought he had passed. But also, one of the reasons why is because they also wrote him out of the series. And he died in the series.
Oh.
But now that I've looked, he was let go because of 2 allegations of misconduct. Let's just say it that way. So now now that I've seen that, now I'm kind of curious as to the real reason why he wasn't around other people. in that season.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I see
very
that.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I did not want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still alive.
He said he told a couple of jokes that were inappropriate and he was sorry and he didn't mean to offend anybody, but who knows?
Okay.
It's one of those things where I'm just waiting at some point. We're going to find out that Tom Hanks is really a megalomaniac villain that is, really part of the Illuminati. And
well, I mean, that's not too far from the truth. To a degree.
But no, I honestly think there needs to be some movie in which you get all like Keanu Reeves and Tom Hanks and all of the ones who are known for being super John Cena, who's the Make-A-Wish guy. You get all of those and have them play an evil parody of themselves, much like Neil Patrick Harris in the what were those?
Dr. Horrible?
No. It was the where he was playing in the film. It was revealed that he was actually very evil and a terrible person, and his marriage to his husband was like a sham. And oh God, what the hell was it called? I can't. How in the world do I?
Dude, we may be getting too old to be doing this. We cannot pull titles. We cannot pull.
No, I have Harold and Kumar.
Harold and Kumar. Oh yeah.
Okay. No, see, I have day. Here's the problem. I have days in which they're not name days, where I just go, I can't. People's names, they could whatever brain cells they call in sick, they're gone. So, and then some days I will, without thinking about it, pull a name out of the air and go, oh, it's a name day. Great. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Some days I don't have names. I'm amazed. But see, I pulled out Neil Patrick Harris's name. I sometimes forget his name. And that's something to forget Neil Patrick Harris's name. So I don't know. The nice guy who seems to get cast as villains a lot. Recently.
Oh, I know who I confused F. Murray Abraham with. It was Matthew Perry.
What?
I'm kidding.
Oh my God. That's not good.
Actually, I'm looking to see who it may have been that I was thinking of.
No idea. I can't remember who's passed away.
Gangsta Boo?
No, she was on what is that song from Run the Jewels? Walking in the Snow. She was great. That was a damn shame. And while you're looking at that, what, huh?
Toby Keith? Did I mix him up with Toby Keith?
I don't know who that is.
The musician, Toby Keith.
Oh, okay.
He died. I think he died of stomach cancer. I think it was something like that.
But really racism.
So while you're looking at that,
Adrian Browner. That's who I was thinking of. I know it's left field, but it's that voice in that style that I don't know why I mixed it up.
It's Andre, right? Andre Browner.
Andre Browner. What did I say? Andre? What did I say?
I thought you said Adrian.
Yeah.
Did I say Adrian?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
We lost
like I said,
and Lance Reddick.
I may be too old for this.
I know I'm too old for most things, I'm afraid. But no, what was I saying? Oh, so you guys watch more television than I do. Were either of you watching Night Country?
No, I'm not. Is it good?
I don't know. You have to understand, I freaking loved True Detective season 1. It didn't quite stick the landing, but you had characters that were so good. I don't know how you could have stuck the landing sufficiently.
Yeah.
But it landed well enough. Then I, was very pleased to learn about season 2, and I watched half the first episode and said, I do not give a shit about anything that is happening here, and just stopped. And it sounds like with John with Secret Invasion, that was the wise choice. It was so bad. The third season. What's that?
Oh, I was going to do that. How bad was it? But never mind.
It was so well. Here's how bad it was. is that they did a third season with Mahershala Ali, and I didn't watch it.
Oh, I didn't either. Yeah, it just didn't seem like it was going to be. I watched, I think, half of the first one, and it just did not look like it was going to excite me.
Well, I mean, he's great. He is generally, my reaction at the time about hearing about that was they're so desperate to get me to watch the third season that they cast him because they know that I love his work, but I still haven't watched it.
Yeah.
But, Jodie Foster, again, another weak spot, Jodie Foster. But I've been seeing all manner of responses to it. So I was just curious if you guys have watched it. There is a great clip on Graham Norton with Jodie Foster where she tells the story of, and I forget which, I think it was one of the live action Disney films where she was on camera with an actual lion because there were no safety regulations back in the day. And it tried to eat her. And I will not do it justice, but I recommend Googling Graham Norton, Jodie Foster, perhaps adding lion to it. And it's a crazy story where it's like when you watch older films and you see some of the stunts that are happening and you just think there's no way that would happen now. It's like you wouldn't have what was she, 9?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 9. You wouldn't have a 9-year-old hanging out with. I mean, it was it's you don't even want Idris Elba to be near a lion for his movie, so you wouldn't definitely not want 9-year-old Jodie Foster. So I don't know. Yeah, it was a hell of a Candle Shoe sequel. What? Anyway. No, I was just curious about that. What else? I also saw the story about, because I have no desire to have one of these. The what is it? The Apple ski goggles. Where the Vision Pro.
Oh, Apple Vision Pro, yeah.
Yeah. Where people are just returning them.
Yeah. And I guess because Apple also gives you a 1-month return window as well.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
The only time I've seen anything about them in action was because I'm playing Marvel Snap. I watch a couple of guys who talk about it and review the cards and whatever else. And he did a game of it, basically playing Marvel Snap on the moon using his Vision Pro. But however he had it piped in to the YouTube, the movement was just like, I couldn't deal. Maybe if I was the person doing the moving, it would have been all right. But yeah, I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, some of the biggest complaints are its weight and the motion sickness. Because all the weight is front loaded.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the straps don't really give you a hand. I mean, it's weird that apparently, even though, from a conceptual standpoint, what Apple's doing is pretty amazing, but that somehow Zuckerberg made a better VR device than. Now, again, Apple will tell you they're two different devices. One's a virtual reality device, which is whatever it's called, whatever that Meta product is called.
I didn't even know they put one out. So it's
yeah. He's behind the I'm too old for this. That's what
he's behind the 8 Ball. He's behind.
What the heck's that called?
He's behind the latest museum heist. He's
reality headset is called
behind door number 2.
Quest. It's called the Oculus.
Oh, no, Oculus. Quest. Oculus is an old thing, isn't it?
Quest Pro. Around? Sorry, no, I'm saying Quest Pro.
Okay.
It looks like the Oculus. They look the same, but where you're closed off. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Apple will tell you that it's a completely different thing because you can see the world. It is actual, literal spatial computing. It is the whole Minority Report thing.
So it's augmented reality.
Augmented reality. But they call it spatial computing. That's what they call it. Apple calls it spatial computing.
Well, of course, because they wouldn't be able to trademark augmented reality because it's being used.
But yeah, it's the reviews of it have been not so great. I mean, after using it for a while, everyone's just like, I don't see the purpose of this.
Yeah.
Unless you can get it to, this size to just be glasses,
Well,
Yeah.
you got
It's coming.
I remember the what was it? Google Glass.
Oh yeah.
Tried that at one point, and I was like,
Did you try? You tried it?
I went to an event that they had here where they, had give you a demo and then let you wander around with it on and try it. And it was, it was the same thing. It's like, this is not that exciting. I think it was, you had the thing here that you could see, but I'm not surprised it didn't go anywhere. I was like, what is this going to do? But yeah, you're right. If you're able to get it down to a reasonable size and have apps for it that make it
That's
worth
the other thing too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we might be closed off enough that we don't need this kind of extra closure from the rest of the world. You know what
I
mean?
don't know. I'm a game for closing off more from the rest of the world, but then again, I am the nicest misanthrope you'll ever meet.
Which wants to be in the Matrix, but just the tub part. He just wants to
I just want
be
to float.
alone in the tub, floating in his own reality with nobody else around.
Did you say blown in the tub? Is that?
Yeah.
No, he said
That's
floating.
what I said.
Oh,
That too.
I was like,
Both.
I didn't.
But I think both. I think both is true.
Which version of the Matrix do you watch?
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's on this thing called Pornhub. I think it's called. I think it's like a Swedish.
and what was it? The other
Website.
thing I saw was that the Vision Pro folks were upset that it didn't really work with VR porn. that it was like,
And that's why Zuckerberg made a better device.
that would be hilarious if porn decided the VR, AR, whatever battle.
He got us better internet speeds.
So, but yeah, I forget what the complaint was, but it was like, if you're watching something where you were supposed to be in on the action, so to speak, I think the action was, you weren't in on it. It was just removed. So that's hilarious. What is that? Teledildonics, I think it's called.
Wow.
That's
It's
an actual term. That's
Wow.
been around for years. So,
Speaking of people who died.
oh God.
Uh,
Okay. Way to bring it down. But okay.
No. Lance Riddick.
Yeah.
It's fantastic and everything.
I just remembered that because I was looking through it, and then I had watched Percy Jackson, which was on Disney Plus, which was actually really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Really, really well done. Yeah, I think it. I think my kids and I were talking about it, and we're just. I think it's, and I haven't read the books. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know a little bit about Zeus and all the gods and whatnot, but
Yeah.
But the movies, and I had never watched the movies either. They said they were not very good, and I think it's one of those things where the series just it only will translate into more of a series type format, not into a movie type format. So, but yeah, it was really good. But Lance Reddick plays spoiler alert, Zeus, and unfortunately, he's passed. So it's going back to the previous conversation we're talking about. I don't know how you replace him other than, I guess, a god can look like anything they want to look like.
Yeah. I mean, especially Zeus. He was known for making himself look like many things, usually in order to seduce a human female. But
Yeah, only because his Vision Pro didn't do porn right.
Well, but yeah. So we saw the trailer for Shirley, the Shirley Chisholm biopic that's coming out from I think Netflix, which looks fantastic. It's Regina King. It's fucking awesome. But I just see apparently that ballerina movie that they were going to do, the John Wick spinoff. He's in that. playing. Was it? I never heard his name pronounced in the film. Is it Charon or Charon? I can't pronounce things. Everyone knows I can't pronounce things. But yeah, but Ballerina, it's Ana de Armas, in as a badass, which I'm totally down with. Would be very pleased to see. What is it? Okay, set between John Wick 3, which was crap, and Chapter 4, which I have not seen yet because Chapter 3 was crap. But let's hope. I her kicking ass, that's got to be at least a 2.5 out of 5 cup movie just from jump. I'm just predicting here. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. 3 or 4 times. Tops.
I don't believe you.
Neither do I.
I think you're wrong about being wrong.
You know
3
what?
or 4 times.
I think you're right about me being wrong about me being wrong. Seriously. But yes, what else? We haven't gotten together in a while. Shit surely must have happened. I mean, Rob, you've gained a gig, haven't you? You should tell people about your upcoming gig.
Yeah, so for those keeping score, Widge and I 4, Toughly 0 on radio shows.
You're at 3. I'm at 1.
That's 4. 3 plus 1 is 4.
I know, but I'm saying, but I appreciate you lumping me in with you. But anyway, go on.
There are so many. Well, we'll get to that. I'll go back to that. Remind me to go back to that thing when I am done. So I'm going to do a thing when I get to it, because I, believe it or not, shock, I was actually overextended a couple weeks ago for the first time ever. And I think I'm gonna start in March doing a thing for the Face Radio. It's out of Brooklyn, and I'm gonna do a show. And I couldn't think of a name, so I'm gonna call it the Free Design, which is the name of a Stereolab song. But I also like the idea of just you have this sort of like modernism, sort of weird idea that you have a room and you're filling it full of like sounds instead of furniture, right? It's a very Eames sort of meets earbuds kind of thing, but that's what we're doing. I have this. There's to show you how bonkers this is going to be. And John, feel free that you never have this happen to you. I've really gotten turned on lately to Sudanese jazz. So I sent Widge a thing. Yeah, as one does. I sent a thing to Widge, right? And the first track on it is like amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so many Fishbone and Oingo Boingo songs this will work with. And then I remembered that there's a song called Ukulele Woman by Ethel Merman that goes perfectly into Fly Hawaii by BJ Cole and Luke Vibert, which is this like sort of down techno record. So I'm doing that. It's not going to be just straight ahead rock music. It's just going to kind of be all over the place, based on like palettes of like, oh, this guitar riff goes into this guitar riff. And I'm going to play this is going to be the fucking death of me, but I'm going to do an all 1924 show. Because I think I just thought I'd find 5 songs and I went down that rabbit hole. Right. But I just thought people should hear what music sounded like a century ago. Right.
Sounds great.
So I'm not really I'm going to do a couple more theme shows. I'm going to do like just people don't get played a lot. I'm going to take a page from Toughly's book and probably play a little more hip hop. Yeah. So I'm not really sure where it's going to go. What's going to basically happen is I have a loose collection of songs in a folder, and I'm like, how the fuck do I make this work? And then it may not work, and then I'm just going to talk. And their studio is on Flatbush, right? Mm-hmm. Which last time I saw Flatbush was 1994, and it was a shithole. And now it's like, smoothies and green solar panels and banks, and it's like, what the fuck, man? All the really great grimy parts of New York are gone. It sucks. But So yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I'm sure you could find some. I'm sure if you really wanted to find some, you could find some.
I don't want to. So it's gonna be on, I think, Eastern time, 6 to 8 Eastern on Monday nights. So Monday is a Rob Radio Day, which is a little nuts. But the thing they do that's interesting is they repeat their shows. So I think it'll be on like Monday and then I think a Saturday, but it's not the same time as Widge because I specifically requested it not be. Because our five viewers would find that difficult.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, so that's, but now I've got to do all this other crap for it. I got to make a 15-second teaser promo, and I've got to do all this other stuff. And it's a little different world than what I think Widger and I are used to with Louder Than War. It's a little more structured, which is kind of weird. And I cannot swear on the radio, but I am allowed to play songs with cursing.
That's weird.
But all I have to do is tag it on my playlist that this show may contain cursing. So that opens up. Oh, great. That opens up how many Ministry songs? And my lifetime dream of actually playing Beers, Steers, and Queers by the Revolting Cocks on the radio could actually happen. Just there's all kinds of great songs like Dean and the Weenies, Fuck You. Oh my God. There's so many great songs that swear. I might do an entire show with just songs with fuck in it, right? Yeah. So
and just for the record, Rob, that Sudanese jazz thing you sent me was the music of Indonesia, whatever.
Oh, the Sumatran one? Yeah.
Sumatra, yeah. So there's like 20 volumes of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No, I didn't. No,
I know you didn't.
Please give my apologies to your wife.
She's fine. That's what these are for.
Okay, all right.
No, I'll filter through the good stuff and let you know.
Or we could split them. I didn't know there were 10. Or there were 20. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was one of the things you sent me that was like volume 12, and I was like, oh,
it was so good.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So
anyway.
But I decided to, like, with the Louder Than War show too, it's like one of the nice, and this is why I want Tuffley to do a show. Everyone, if you get a chance, Tuffley's on social media, just hashtag Tuffley do a damn radio show, and bother him because he really needs to do one. But like,
it would be therapeutic.
Yeah, like listening to Witch's show every week, it's like it's so fucking natural. It's just like painful how natural it is. So it's like one of those things where you get like pushed or motivated or just inspired to do something, out of your comfort zone because other people are doing good work. And there's so many great shows on Louder Than War that are fantastic too. There's a girl that's doing Scottish music that's really great.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but anyway, yeah. So I'm doing this thing on the Brooklyn radio, and it's full circle because I did a year of radio in Brooklyn. I almost got Brooklyn College Radio in trouble because we got the promo single for Creep by Radiohead, and they didn't tag it for language, and we played it on the campus station, which gets blared into the cafeterias and all over campus. And
nice.
The world treated the swearing back then a little different than they treat the swearing now. So yeah.
So is this terrestrial radio as well, or is it just web?
They are terrestrial and internet. So they have a studio in Brooklyn, right? And then it's also terrestrial. There's a guy, I think, in Berlin. There's a guy in Glasgow. There's a guy somewhere else that does it too. So it's terrestrial. They are nonprofit, so they do solicit donations. So at some point I'll be saying, hey, people, give the station money, right? Because it's basically one guy who runs it. And
do they give handbags out or no?
They have shirts and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'd get you one, but they're white, and who wants a white t-shirt? I mean, come on. That's my new battle. I'm the new guy that's like, oh man, these shirts should be black. Yeah. So so that's happening. And then I am toying with doing a podcast with a friend of mine, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it yet just because I've got a lot going on. So like Taylor Swift, I've got a lot going on. I've got a lot going on at the moment. That's it. We saw those shirts at the concert and I'm like, oh, I need one of those. Oh shit, they're white. Never mind. So and then this girl in line's like, you really don't want it because it's white? I'm like, yes. She's like, why? And I'm like, Am I Kingpin? No, I don't want a white shirt. Thank you.
I go through lots of rainstorms all the time.
Yes.
I'm a rain god. It follows me around.
It would be awesome to be fall like the rain god for just one day, but yeah.
That sounds like a lyric.
Oh yeah, that
Some
would be
song.
fun. It's a Bowie song, yeah, except it's about the Mexican god of rain. Yeah. That'd be awesome. They should make a movie of that. They could have Pauly Shore in it. So yeah, I'm doing this radio hustle thing, and I'm a little nervous about it. So, and then Antics is still going on, which is on Louder Than War Radio, and yeah, so good times.
Where can people find that?
So if you go to Louder Than War Radio, just go on the
No,
website.
I meant the other one.
Oh, it's on the Face. So if you just look up like the Face Radio Brooklyn or whatever, I don't have the thing in front of me. But they nicked all their graphics from the original 1973 subway map. So all the colors and the layouts and stuff are all themed after.
Nice. I
subway map.
thought that's what that was. Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, I'm excited already. So yeah. And I can play whatever I want. And I've already been kind of looking over stuff, and I don't think I'm going to sound like anything else they've got, which is great because there's, so I will probably get the mandatory No Sleep Till Brooklyn out of the way because everyone wants to hear that first. So we'll get that out of the way, and then Bedlam and Mayhem will happen. I have found some really, truly fucking weird records in the last month. Like I found like a Red Skelton sings Irish jig songs. I found like other stuff. It's the centennial of Flatt and Scruggs, so I might do that just because when Flatt and Scruggs were on the Beverly Hillbillies, I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Wow.
Yeah, probably play some Johnny Horton. And yeah. But if I want to play the Beach Boys, I can play the Beach Boys, If I want to play Tool after the Beach Boys, I can yeah, there it is.
Beach Boys into Tool.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
I love the visual graphics on it though. I just think it's really cool. So
yeah, I saw that for the thing you sent me. That was good.
So yeah, we'll see. I just kind of get my ass in gear because I've been doing this job switch thing, and that's been sort of taking priority over everything. And sort of
finally gave up being an assassin, huh?
Yes, and sorting out what's going on with the missus, and so yeah, it's just been busy. So yeah, John, you should do a radio show, and then you can pick on Tuffley too.
Yeah. I don't listen to enough music to make that. Unless we're going to do.
But see, that's what would make you such a great radio person, because then what you hear is really choice, right? The people that try to listen to everything are so wrapped up in trying to listen to everything that they're drinking the Cisco and not the Merlot, right?
I do my deep cuts of Spyro Gyra and Queensrÿche.
That would actually work. That would actually work. So play some Christopher Cross while you're at it, and you'll be all set.
Get some Mississippi All Stars in there. Sure.
Yeah, you should do a. If you like, yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like I've been strip mining the Alan Lomax catalog lately, listening to stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so much stuff.
I need to get more into that. I've only heard the Jelly Roll one. No, it's bad. There's just so much. It's like the great thing about the digital age now is there is so much stuff out there to find that I was bored the other day, and I said I'm going to look up and see if there's any like Cambodian punk, and sure enough, there is. Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple bands from Greenland I found, which I'm like the bands in Greenland, Yeah, so
they have electricity and everything.
Yeah, you know what the other thing I rediscovered over the last week or so is this band called Old Skull that was around in the 90s. They were basically 10-year-old kids that made a punk album.
Okay.
And it's fantastic, right? And while we're at it, and John, you were talking about people that died somewhere in this world tonight, wherever you are when this airs. have a shot of whiskey from Mojo Nixon.
Mm.
When did that happen?
About 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah. I saw Mojo Nixon a couple times at shows. That dude was a maniac. My favorite Mojo Nixon song is probably one I can't play on the radio, but it's him and actually I can now. It's him and Jello Biafra doing a song called "Will the Fetus Be Aborted" that they put out on Alternative Tentacles, and they made a record together, and it's just weird. So, Mojo Nixon.
yeah, February 7th is when he passed.
Yeah, if your store don't have Mojo Nixon, then your store can use some fixing.
So yeah, send me the old skull thing. There's a lot of old skulls. I'm not sure which one it is.
Oh, okay, yeah. They have a great song called "Homeless" that's great. Oh my god, it's just terrible. Make sure you listen to it with headphones though, because I don't want your wife mad at me for like bringing that into their home.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's a certain ritual of like, hey, I'm gonna send Widge like Bavarian throat music, and like, don't. I'm like, okay.
No, do it. Do
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yes.
Do it.
Yeah.
My to listen to stack is ridiculously large, but it could be larger.
So is mine. Mine is ungodly, unwieldy, frightening. It's just, and we've reached the point of the year where everybody's putting out records. So
Yeah, there was like 6 or 7 last week that was ridiculous. Idols and Mother just put out one, and
yeah.
I forget all who did, but yeah, I gotta listen to all that too. I'm never gonna catch up.
I know and I finally just listened to the Idols all the way through today.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Are we pleased?
The thing is, I don't think they can do wrong. I kind of like the direction shift a little bit. Like it's a little more sort of upbeat, pop tempo-y, but like it's still angry and visceral, and it still sounds like them, which is great. So I don't hate it. I think it's really, really good.
As I've said elsewhere, if we could just figure out how to harness the energy of what's the front man for Idols,
yeah,
I think we could power like most of the UK for.
I am so
vast
ever
majority of the year.
so ever grateful that I saw them on that first tour at a bar here with 50 people. And they played for 2 hours, and they were just doing covers at the end because they just didn't feel like it. It was great. But I'm going to try to see them on this tour, either I think Atlanta or Chicago, because it's the only closest places they're coming.
Right.
But yeah, they're great. And they have cool merch, right? They get it. All their t-shirts are black. So
it's important. It's important.
Yes.
It has to. Black goes with everything. It's just,
I can think of no greater testament to about how good Idols are is that John, your very good friend Sylvester McCoy referred to him.
Oh yeah, he and I are tight.
Yeah. Wow, this is really noisy.
That needs to be a pull quote.
Yeah,
I would put that in the marketing brochure.
So it's like, I think everything you listen to is very weird, but okay. Why can't you just like the Beatles? So, yeah, John, you should definitely hook up with your old buddy Sylvester McCoy sometime.
Yeah, he and I, we've been both very busy, so we haven't been able to exchange.
But he's had more time for you than Shag.
Yeah, correspondence is the word I was looking for.
But
yeah, you're right.
Not word day.
I don't know names. I don't know movies. I don't know words.
You know what? That's great. You can write for Screen Rant.
Wow.
All you have to do is not get paid, and you run the trifecta.
Wow.
I only want to make their listicles, though.
No, you don't. I lasted there 2 weeks. I was too cynical. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. I should frame that email. I should frame that email from them. It's like,
You got an
Did they-
email letting you
I-
go because you were too cynical and they said that?
yeah, I was like, yeah, because when I wrote about Doctor Who, it was fine, but when I started writing about other stuff, it's like, I don't know why we're writing a story about the 70s TV series ISIS, but here we go,
I mean, why
it
were
wasn't
you?
it wasn't as bad, it wasn't as good as Arc 1, but ask your grandparents. So,
Why were you writing an article about ISIS? Was
because they were trying to find something to write. It was a slow day.
oh my god.
Yeah. So anyway, but they're
Yeah,
lovely people. They're just annoying. Some of them. I think all the people that were annoying are gone. Actually, and they're quite lovely. But anyway, if you like them, great.
Well, it's like every episode of Antiques Roadshow in the UK.
Yeah.
All the papers write a story about something that happened in
Yes.
that episode, and you could just tell they don't have enough to write about. Because like, go find somebody who was shocked or appalled or something.
The other weird thing I listened to this week was the new Dandy Warhol single.
Yeah.
It's called "I'd Like to Help You with Your Problem," but it's got Slash on it.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? Yeah. So
He's got nothing better to do right now.
Yeah.
well, I think he chooses not to. I think he could be working as much as he wanted. So, probably takes a lot of effort to keep that hat on all the time.
It's true. I mean, when you have to go out and you have to, have it attached properly, I think he's at least an hour and a half in the chair getting that affixed.
Well, I mean, the gopher that's underneath there that operates him is.
There we go.
If we have a short film of Ratatouille where it's Slash instead, that would be fantastic.
I would actually watch that.
I would watch it too. Or
That would be great.
or a raccoon if it's everything everywhere. Who knows? But yeah, a lot of stuff has come out, and a lot of I didn't know that the Bob Marley film had come out. Stuff just is hitting, and I'm not seeing much about it, which is
I
weird.
didn't know it was out until about a week ago, and they said, "Hey, it's out." And I'll probably see it just because I know, for somebody that's listened to Bob Marley records, I know surprisingly little about Bob Marley because all the people I knew that really taught me about reggae have either died or been fired. So I need to really up my reggae game. I am, but I also want to learn it from someone that's not a white college kid, just saying.
See if Don Letts has done an all reggae show.
Yeah, well, Don Letts is one of my go-to people that I listen to. So.
Yeah, because I remember there was one time when I was in LA for a book launch, and I was just walking around listening to a Don Letts, I think it was like an all ska show. And I was like, this is actually great. Wandering around and going, oh, this looks like a good coffee place. Oh, this place sells pretzels. Oh, look, it's a weird thrift store. Okay. And listening the whole time to crazy ska from Don Letts. It was great. But yeah, he might have one. Or the one thing I have found as well are the compilations that are sitting on Spotify.
Yeah.
That are not even playlists. They're just compilation albums where you can go back and sample stuff, and then you can be like, oh, I need more of this or more of that. I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I mean,
but you knew the job was dangerous when you took it.
I mean, the thing is, I can't. There's not enough hours in the day to listen to all the people that are on BBC. It's just like between Craig Charles and Don Letts, right? Then you've got Jarvis Cocker. Then you've got Iggy, right?
Giles.
It's nuts. And then the most fantastic thing was when Bill Nighy sat in.
Yes.
And now there's talk about Bill Nighy getting a show.
Oh, okay.
And there's
He already has one, doesn't he?
Not a weekly
Is he
one.
a science guy?
I'm gonna no. Which I'm going to tell you something later when we're done recording because I'm obligated not to say anything about it yet, but it's
Okay.
fantastic. So,
But and then when Cillian Murphy did his series of
oh,
shows,
he was great too.
it was great.
You know, when I went the one and only year I went to Comic-Con, Cillian Murphy was there,
Yeah.
and I went to his table just to say hello because I thought he was fantastic. This is before Peaky Blinders and anything, and he's like, "Are you wearing a Specials t-shirt?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." And he goes, "Oh, they're fantastic." He's like, "What else do you listen to?" So then I ended up like talking to Cillian Murphy for like an hour and a half about music at his table.
Nice.
And then I ran into him in the hotel bar like the next night. So I ended up like just having, I think, 3 or 4 beers with him, just talking about music. And I'm like, "You should be a DJ someday."
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, as fantastic as Paul Giamatti is in The Holdovers, I'm kind of rooting for Cillian Murphy just because, you know, it's part of my my rebranding of give Scarecrow an Oscar, right?
Oh my God.
I want him to show up at the Academy Awards dressed like the Scarecrow. That would just be awesome.
That would be
Everyone would think he was Lady Gaga or Cher. So
yeah, the other person who could use a show is Martin Freeman.
yeah, except he really loves the Jam. I think all you'd hear is the Jam.
There's a couple.
Things he played that were
really. He sat in for like Giles or something, right? Him
Yeah.
and his partner.
Yeah.
Partner in crime. And they were playing more than the Jam. So
yeah. I really want you know, I really want David Tennant and Michael Sheen to do a radio show too.
that even just a one-off would be fucking amazing.
And I was telling someone this morning that I think that the Oscar host problem is solved if they let David Tennant do it. Have you seen when he hosted the BAFTAs?
I've seen bits of it, yeah.
Where he's got Michael Sheen's dog and he's running it, you know, and then he does
Yes.
a little pre-bit with Huddleston, and yeah, it was fantastic. Huddleston could also probably do a really good. You know, that's the thing, is like all the English should do a show, and actually Eccleston should do a show. Apologies to anyone that went to the Christopher Eccleston panel at Dragon Con, which is basically Rob and Eccleston talk about British music from Manchester for an hour. But I just didn't care. Yeah. And
sorry I wasn't there. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So, but the other thing that I am excited about is there's a new girl that's coming on KDHX after me. They moved her up from the 11 slot to the 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's an all ska show, right? Called Ska's Limit. It's been on forever.
Yeah.
But she plays a shit ton of calypso. Like, she knows more about calypso music than most people I know. So I'm like, I'm just going to be taking notes because I'm all in on calypso music, man. It is just friggin' amazing. I would go somewhere on an island and go just hear calypso music every night, except I would burn at most of those places, so I can't go.
I understand. So what is your calypso name? Because it's always Lord or King or something. I haven't come up with one yet, but I need to.
I don't know. Maybe King Tuffley doesn't have a radio show. No, I'm kidding. I say this lovingly because he really needs to do one. But I don't know. King.
Well, you need to. She knows that much about calypso. You need to ask her about Lord Intruder. And
yes.
Yeah, because I'm
You're looking for that. Yes,
I'm looking for it.
It's on my list.
Thank you.
Yeah. And every time I go look for 45s, I look for it.
Well, thank you. I think it would be really fucking rare if it exists. But I just want to know whether it exists or not. That would be the good first step. But my favorite Calypsonian, which is such a great word. My favorite Calypsonian name is I had him on the show the other day, King Obstinate. That's his performance name. So I'm like, that is my favorite so far. But yeah, it's always Lord, Prince, King, something, and I haven't figured out what mine would be yet. John, what would yours be?
Lord, what's the name again?
Which
No, that would be my name, Lord. What's the name
Lord
again?
Lord what's name? That would work actually. It was the MC of its day. So I mean, think about it: Lord Intruder, MC Intruder, Lord Invader, MC Invader. They both work. They both work. MC Obstinate. See, that's
Oh my God, yes. Can I be King Melancholy? Can I do that?
absolutely
Or does that sound like an Ed Wood movie?
both.
Yeah.
Two things can be true at the same time.
But then I'm frightened that it's then I think of that Melancholia movie with Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, the Lars von Trier?
Yeah.
Oh God.
You know, they need to take the guy that Bjork married. I forgot his name. Matthew Burney. Is that his name? That guy?
Matthew
guy-
Perry?
No. Get your head out of the hot tub. I think it's Matthew. Like all of his movies.
Eldon.
Well, the guy
Eldon.
that.
Oh, wait,
she
no,
did-
no, I see. No, he divorced him. Matthew
Yeah.
Barney.
Yeah, Matthew Barney. All his movies have like gelatin in it, right? Sliced gelatin. And Lars von Trier, that dude just needs to make a 15-minute movie. I mean, it's like, oh my God. It's like,
Yeah,
Every-
I don't think they're together anymore.
yeah, some of their, well, I can understand why. All of his movies are like, oh, look, here's gelatin in a shipping container, and we're going to show what it looks like. Man, hell is a Lars von Trier movie. I'm sorry. It's just,
It's not that and what is it? Gaspar, what's his name?
yeah.
Yeah, Gaspar Noah or something like that. Yeah, that's also good. That's not good. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some directors like that I just can't get into. Not my
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But Lars von Trier, I'll never forgive for sending Bjork away from movies for how long was it? Like,
Well,
2
she was
decades?
great in that movie, but I was just like, the thing is, I think I saw the Bjork movie. I think the day before that I saw Schindler's List, and I just
Oh,
think
God.
that I think that weekend is when I almost became an alcoholic.
Well, I can't.
Instead,
I
it was a different weekend.
I can't. I don't know if I told you guys about my brother and his mistake of watching a certain film. When I was still in the Online Film Critics Society, they would send me. This is how long ago this was, kids. They would send me VHS tapes with Oscar screeners, and so I would bring them home to the parents' house for Christmas and go through some of them while I was there. And I come downstairs one morning and my brother is like, "You son of a bitch." I'm like, what? What did I do? And he said that I started off this morning with a movie. Said, "I watched Requiem for a Dream first thing today." I'm like, well, what did you do that for? It's like, I didn't know what it was. So his day was ruined, and I laughed a lot.
Yes.
It's good to have mirth of.
You said
something
Merry
having
Christmas.
to do with
I
it.
was going to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry
Oh,
Christmas.
by the way, we're almost in March, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, because we just got past 5th Halloween. So,
Halloween. I saw people were doing Halloween, which I thought was great.
but people, I know it's nice to be lazy and procrastinate and like take your time with shit, but take down your goddamn Christmas tree. You're giving me PTSD.
That sounds like you have something personal going on.
How many Christmas trees are up in your area?
I
right
have
now?
seen 5
Holy
this
shit!
week. Yeah,
Wow,
and one in, but I'm counting an inflatable.
that counts.
Is it at least still snowing there?
It snowed last week. We got 3.5 inches, and the next day it was 60.
Yeah.
Because I went to a play on Friday night, and it was like where it snowed, and then it didn't really. It was like 3 inches of snow, and it stopped. But it was like it was this slush, that got frozen. So then like you had to like people would like throw salt on like half of the sidewalk. So you'd walk down a sidewalk, then have to walk in the street and then go back into the side. And also if you have a house and you've got like a sidewalk in front of it, this does not apply to Georgia or Florida, I'm sorry, but throw salt down or shovel it. It's not that hard, just to be nice to your neighbors so they don't have to go out in traffic, right?
Yeah. Here, if we threw salt in front of the house, people would be like, "Why do you hate slugs?" So,
or you're trying to keep vampires away.
That
or werewolves, or I don't know, something like that.
I think you're right. I think it's vampires. They can't cross. They have to count all the salt, all the grains of salt, if they cross the line.
Oh yeah, that is a new. I'm not sure where that comes from because that is a new thing. Because when I was a kid, I would read all the cryptozoological monster books, all of them, and I never remember the whole counting thing. Now I know that's part of the joke for why we have Count Von Count.
Yes.
But still, I'd never heard that before, so I don't know where that came from.
Yes. But yeah. Christmas is over. Stop it.
The one exception to that I would make, Rob, is I knew somebody who kept a Christmas tree up in their room the year round, but they would redecorate it for whatever holiday was.
See that's fine. It counts.
Yeah.
It's
I loved it. I was like, oh, it's a Valentine's Day Christmas tree, and it was all Valentine's Day ornaments.
Well, people shouldn't be celebrating Valentine's Day anyway. It's a Hallmark card, and you should love people the full year around, not one day.
Right. That's and
in fact, I would argue on Valentine's Day you should stop loving everyone.
Well, that's me every day. So,
the earliest instance of the concept of vampires having to count things
that
are spilled in front of them, 1922's Nosferatu.
Yes.
Count Auric is depicted as being compelled to count anything. I can't say names. F. Murray Abraham played him, right? He had to count everything, including grains and rice or seeds.
Yeah. That movie is getting such a resurgence this year because it's now in public domain and it's 100 years old. Like, I think there's 4 different versions of it that have screened in town with different music and stuff. So,
well, and you've got is it Eggers that's got the version that's coming out?
Yeah. It's already been out and gone.
What?
I think so. It was about the boat. I think that was, yeah.
No. This is
Oh.
This is what about Robert Eggers?
Oh, okay.
It's coming out Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas.
Bah humbug.
And it's got Bill Skarsgård as Orlok.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, everything and Willem Dafoe is playing an insane version of Van Helsing, a vampire hunter.
Oh, that's cool.
The only picture I've seen of it is him and like the vintage outfit with a top hat, swinging a lantern, and everything's on fire around him. So I was like, wow, that's how I picture him all the time.
Yeah. So, you also, on your calendars, since we're talking about holidays,
yes,
I'd be remiss if I did not mention, because it was, panacea of celebration at my place, but January 29th is National Curmudgeon Day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Or what I call it, Tuesday.
It's ironically the one day that Rob isn't a curmudgeon.
Oh, well, it's not every day. It's just, there's so many dumb people in the world. Hey, you live in Florida. I mean, come on. Man, you know what I want to see, John? This would make my black heart happy. Someday when your governor is doing an open house, town hall thing, can you just go, wear a pair of Mickey Mouse ears too, but can you stand up with a pair of Mickey Mouse ears on and go, dude, you are just fucking stupid. I would just love that, and I would post your bond.
He famously doesn't invite anybody that doesn't believe the way he believes to any
Yeah,
of his
I know.
events.
Well, please don't vote for him again.
I mean, there's been literal news events where he does not invite the media. He doesn't invite the news. He only invites news that he.
That sounds about
Believes in.
right, actually.
Yep.
But yeah, I did not realize that Nosferatu is public domain.
Well,
Yeah.
it's 102
Yeah.
years old now.
Yeah. And what was it? Oh, Willem Dafoe is the vampire hunter in it, but it would be hard pressed to top the other vampire hunter he played in Daybreakers. He was the vampire hunter known as Elvis, who had a crossbow.
I saw Poor Things, right?
It's strange that William Dafoe would not be a vampire. But anyway, go on.
I saw Poor Things, right?
Well, he already played a vampire. Wasn't he the vampire in Shadow of the Vampire?
Yes.
Yep. So there you go.
Oh, no, he played Murnau in Shadow of a Vampire, I think. I can't remember. So
Anyway.
speaking of Willem Dafoe, he's in
Yep,
Poor
So you
Things.
saw Poor Things, yeah.
Yeah, and great. First of all, seeing Mark Ruffalo type against cast as like a bad guy is great. Second, as good as Ruffalo is in it, Dafoe probably should have gotten the Oscar nomination in it because it's probably some of the best work Dafoe's ever done.
Mm.
He's just great in it. I mean,
Yeah, just as I said earlier, don't see that film with your kids. It's an awkward time to be sitting next to your kids.
Yeah, I think so. The only thing I've seen of it is where she's in a restaurant and she basically says, "I have to go punch that baby."
The trailer does not tell you what the movie is.
which we all do actually at some point
You want to
when we're in a
baby?
restaurant.
Baby?
We say, "I want to go punch that baby."
Yeah. No, the trailer does a great job of just making you go, "What the fuck is this about?" Which
I'm still processing what I saw.
But
It
yeah,
looks great, but it's just weird.
It is
I did like the sort of steampunky like London thing that they did. But after a while it's like, okay, I get it. It's steampunk. You can stop being heavy-handed with it. Like if it was just more subtle, it would have been nice. But yeah. So
it is a I see. I don't even know if I could recommend the film.
yeah, it's
because
if you really like movies, you go see it. Like I want to see it for the cinematography and just because I heard Willem Dafoe was great in it and Ruffalo was in it, and I was kind of curious. But I'm in no hurry to like recommend it or tell people they have. It's like essential, right? I saw Pandora's Box this week though, which is a Louise Brooks movie from the 1920s that's got a new 4K restoration, and it looks amazing, right? It looks fantastic. And the touring version uses the original Berlin Cabaret score in the film that they found the sheet music in an attic from. So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
And when you watch a lot of these Weimar films from the 1920s, you sort of see where film noir came from, and where Orson Welles got some of his camera shots and stuff. That's pretty great. And The Third Man, I'm like literally gonna lose it because there's a new print of The Third Man that's in 4K that's making the rounds.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. And next year or the year, I think it's 25, they're doing the restored. There's another restored Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, Jesus.
With 10 more minutes.
What?
There's another 10. Yeah, there's 10 minutes going in.
Oh my God.
It's I think it's the 10 minutes that Omar Sharif like didn't want in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So there's some really like,
and what's he gonna do about it now?
You know, he played a lot of cards. Fraser Hines from Doctor Who was in a movie with Omar Sharif, and he talks about it at some of his panels that Omar Sharif knocked on his door one night when they were at the hotel where they were filming. He says, "I understand you're having an evening out with a young woman," and he said, "Yes," and he goes, "Here." And he hands him the keys to his Rolls Royce and said, "Have a great time."
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's like, "Yeah, thanks. You just made me terrified to drive a car while I'm on a date." And I was
Wow.
So yeah. But yeah, John, you should really see Casablanca just to see it.
I have,
Oh, okay.
has
But you
seen
still
it.
don't like it.
Yeah,
and
he
I did
doesn't
not
like
like
it.
it.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
only one who's wrong with the movie opinion.
By the way, speaking of
I think it's kind of cool that he doesn't, and I respect that opinion for it. But I just can't.
I
But then I don't like
respect
It's a
it.
Wonderful. I don't like It's a Wonderful Life. So it's a fair trade.
I respect his opinion. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
well, Rob is dead to me now.
Look, the biggest problem there are several problems with It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh my
right?
God.
The first is that there's no multiverse in it. The second, because clearly, they're dealing with a multiverse where he's seeing what his life would be like if he hadn't lived, and that's a perfect opportunity to build an It's a Wonderful Life multiverse that they
Introduce
completely
Quicksilver.
failed on.
It's a perfect opportunity to introduce Quicksilver.
Yes, it's perfect, right? And at the end, they could find out that all the bad weather when he was trying to jump off the bridge, spoilers, is because of Storm from the X-Men. I mean, they missed a lot of opportunities with this thing, right? But I think the fact that Mr. Potter is grossly misunderstood in that film, and that he's actually a multiverse version of Charles Xavier. That movie is much better when you think of Mr. Potter as just a
I thought
very
it was
bitter.
Kingpin.
No, he's just a very bitter Charles Xavier.
By the way, the movie that I was thinking of earlier, that I had seen was called Origin, which was the story of Cast, of the writer writing Cast, Caste.
Okay.
Origins of our descent or discontent.
Sorry. I need to. I heard about that, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It's one of the ones, and there is another. If anybody wants to see it, there is a Screen Unseen coming up on what did it say? March 4th.
So this is where all the Zach
Grade
Levi
PG.
films are going to go.
What's that?
This is where all the Zach Levi films are going to end up.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh, wow.
I did miss one yesterday. Apparently, there was one that I didn't know that came out, but I'm kind of glad I did because it was Ordinary Angels, which
is that the thing with Hilary Swank?
Yeah, Hilary Swank and Alan Richardson. Reacher.
Yep.
So, by the way, I can't see him in anything anymore without.
Is she gone all Jesus-y on us? Is that what her thing is?
Yeah, I think that's the deal on that one. So, God. I'm kind of glad I missed that one because it isn't one that I would like to have seen. So, most of the people on the Reddit thread said, well, not most of them, but several people said they walked out.
I mean, I wouldn't go because it's expensive. It's a little too Pentecost for me. But
well, again, the Screen Unseens are only $5 if you go to an AMC theater in your area.
And if you don't like a movie, you can just walk in and see something else, right?
That's the theory, right? See, except that Sonia and I were talking about this the other day because now that you have assigned seating, in a lot of places, at least in my area, it's all assigned seating. No one's really coming in and double checking anything that's
unless you're at an Alamo, but yes.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But at least at AMC, they don't even need a ticket. They don't even need a ticket taker or whatever. It's just like you show up and there's someone sitting in your seat. Yeah. Obviously, you don't really want to do that because then everyone will figure it out and just start going to the movies without paying. But
do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah. The other thing I friggin' loved is I saw Godzilla Year Zero in black and white. Oh my God.
-1, you mean Godzilla -1?
-1, yeah. Sorry. It's Batman Year Zero, right?
Well, there's a bunch of Year Zeros, but yeah.
There are a bunch of Year Zeros. Let's go through that list.
Oh, God.
Today on Rob's Old Brain.
Oh, so Richardson is Jesus-y. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great.
I would not
think
of that, given that he was in Reacher and in Blue Mountain State. I don't know if anybody knows what Blue Mountain State is. It's a raunchy.
Him and Jim Caviezel can go pray.
And he's in what was it? The Ungentlemanly Warfare film that's coming out. I don't know if you saw that. It's the Guy Ritchie thing with Cavill.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing an actual person who ran around with a bow and arrow during World War II. So
was there someone that actually did that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think there was a couple, but there's one I looked up, and he's playing that guy who was in the first Commandos team.
Nice.
So
I-
yeah, some of those folks are fucking crazy.
I did like the I can't remember the name of the film, but it was another World War II film about the conscientious objector who was
yeah.
in the Pacific. I can't remember the guy's name. I can't remember who
Mm.
played him. I do.
Andrew Garfield? No.
Andrew Garfield, exactly. That was that was a good film.
yeah.
I enjoyed that.
I can't remember
story.
that, but yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. There was on Antiques Roadshow UK, which I highly recommend. They had someone bring in some well, basically antiques and documents that were owned by like their great uncle or somebody who was a conscientious objector in in, I guess that would be World War One, but that was when they were giving out the white feathers for if you weren't going off to war. That is right? World War One, because
Yeah.
I think they stopped it for World War Two because it didn't go very well. But anyway, so he had kept the white feather that he had gotten in the mail. Someone had mailed it to him. And he kept it. And they were like, usually these get thrown out. We haven't seen one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they had to stop it because their young ladies were giving white feathers to people who were like home trying to recover, and it was not good.
I
mean, was that people that did not actually go to war?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, the one I'm referring to, he actually went to war. He just would not carry a gun. He would not.
Oh yeah,
fight.
I know what you're talking about, but
He was only a medic, and that's it. He would only save people, and that was the
Yeah.
yeah.
he wound up
Yeah.
saving
Okay.
basically his whole entire
Yep.
platoon, dragged him out of the cliff.
The two other things that I should recommend is if you get a chance to see the Brie Larson show on Apple, Lessons in Chemistry. That's fantastic.
Oh, that's so good.
It's so good. We got two more to do to watch. And then Masters of the Air is just
I've not
Really?
watched that yet.
it's it's great. And then I think I had this on my list of, because like Widge has a music list. I have a list of things to see, and I think this is on my list because of you, John. But I started watching Silo.
Yes.
It's really amazing. And I
Yes.
forgot
It
that
was-
the guy from Selma is in it, and he's amazing. And David Oakett, whatever. That guy's great in everything.
Yeah, I know from the trailer, unless it is a dream sequence, that at some point, like the silo gets opened because
Yeah.
they show it in the trailer.
Mhm.
And I just thought, I think it would be awesome if they went through all 10 episodes of the series, and then at the end, the silo's opened, and everybody really does die because it really is awful outside. And I think
That's what would happen if it was on Netflix.
no, if it was on Netflix,
You canceled after episode 5.
there would be a cliffhanger, and then you would just never find out what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, there is very little that on the Apple TV originals, Apple TV Plus, I guess is what it's called, originals, that is a miss. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm even looking at it like Monarch, Legend of Monster, Legacy of Monsters, rather, was really good for what it was
Yeah.
or what it is. And Slow Horses, one of my favorite shows. The Morning Show, as far as for a sort of a drama type thing.
I have not
Mhm.
seen that yet, but I will.
It's good. I mean, it kind of the first season's really good. The second season is still okay. The third season starting to lose its way a little bit, just because it suffers from what I call the ER problem, which is at some point in ER they would have shut down that hospital. There's no way that the number of bombing incidents that happen, the number of whatever, in the case of the Morning Show, not yes, it starts off. It's essentially just sort of a Matt Lauer thing, um, but it at some point enough of these kind of weird things start happening that they would just fire everyone and start new. There's no way that it's rotten to the core. So you would think that they would get rid of it, but the first two seasons are actually really good, especially when the whole the parallel for the Today Show and what happened with Matt Lauer and everything else. So
What happened
Well,
with
that
Matt Lauer?
seems like a perfect way to, because you run into the problem of when you start, reworking contracts for later seasons.
mhm.
If you just have it as part of the setup that they fire everybody at like the end of season 2 and season 3 you start fresh, problem solved.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the lineup here on their TV shows, just their TV shows.
Yeah.
And Masters of Air, #1 right now. Masters of the Air. Ted Lasso, still #2, still one of my favorite shows of all time.
Mm,
Yes.
The aforementioned what we talked about earlier, which was Mythic Quest. It's no
Yeah.
longer listed on here as a top, but it's again another great sitcom, great heartfelt sitcom. It's Apple TV Plus is probably if I have to get rid of some of my streaming services, which I really probably should, at least suspend them for a while.
mm.
It would be the one that I would not get rid of, just because every time they come out with something, it just seems to be so. Again, the whole Apple myth, ecosystem, I guess, where it's so curated that it's
Mhm.
just good.
Well, what is it? I've seen the trailer for Manhunt, which looks interesting.
Hmm.
That's the one where it's about John Wilkes Booth and hunting him down after he kills Lincoln. The cast on that looks great. Patton Oswalt is in it, helping chase. He's like a military officer or something. Oh, Constellation is theirs too. That
Mhm.
looks crazy. They got a Benjamin Franklin miniseries with, what is it? Michael Douglas as Benjamin Franklin, which should be interesting.
You got Severance. I don't know if you watched Severance. That's really good.
I have not, but I keep hearing that it's good. There's just too much stuff to watch. Yeah, but in fact, I'm looking at the list too, and there's a lot of these things I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. They draw you in with the other stuff and hope that you find these, I guess.
Oh,
But
what is
anyway.
this one? Oh wow!
Oh,
There's
wow.
a what's his name? Noel Fielding rather.
Oh, I've heard
Oh,
about that. too.
is this
The
the Dick Turpin thing?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
completely made up Adventures of Dick
Yes.
Turpin. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
forget
that's
who-
coming. That's coming out in March 1st.
Yeah, I forget who else is in that. It's Hugh Bonneville, Asim Chowdhury, Tamsin Gregg from Black Books, Mark Heap from Spaced, Joe Wilkinson, who's freaking hilarious. Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. I forgot that was Greg Davies is in it too. Yeah, Diane Morgan.
Is he really?
Guz Khan. Yeah, he was in the trailer.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I didn't even know it was coming out. I just happened to stumble across this.
Yeah. No, that's
Joe. Yeah, I mean,
looks like
it
it's
looks
gonna be
like
good.
The entire cast of every single
Pretty much.
Taskmaster ever.
I mean,
exists.
that's the beauty of doing a comedy that's like UK is, everybody knows everybody, and and if you're shooting in UK, it's not that big. Now, what is this? Hang on. So it's also, they have the Time Bandit series coming up, but it's Jermaine Clement and Taika created it,
so there you go.
and he's directed the first two series, and apparently the production's done. Huh. Weird. God, I hope that does not suck. And I hope if they do the idea of how to get the map back that has been discussed a couple of times, then I think that would be good. Because for anyone who's seen the movie Time Bandits, there is a particular picture that I'm sure if you could zoom in hard enough, you would have a map. So, but that could not suck. It's just hard to say. Who knows?
When is it coming out? Does it say?
It doesn't have a release date yet.
That's strange.
Well, it finished production in first part of last year, and I would assume there's a bit of post-production on it. And it is a 10-episode series, so I don't know.
Yeah, if you're looking at Wikipedia, it doesn't even have the titles for the first episodes yet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Weird. But we should probably mosey towards the corner of the podcast that we call recommendations. So we can recommend things and then run away to try to catch up on all this music I need to listen to. So,
All right.
Rob, I guess you're first. Go. What do you got?
Well, I guess I'll start with the obvious, which is the Idols record Tank, which is out right now. It's pretty incredible and pretty fantastic. You should check that out. It's Idols. I mean, I don't really need to say too much more than, hey, it's Idols, right? And I'm not sure I've talked about the new Slowdive record, but that's also really good too. So get that. That's it.
Oh,
Wow.
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 Okay.
Wow.
Wow. All
I've
right.
been super busy.
When Tuffley's not here to challenge you. It's-
So,
I guess it's me then.
yeah, John, what you got?
Well, I'm going to recommend something that everyone else has already, and probably why the real reason why Tuffley's not here. And I don't even know if he may have recommended it the last time we recorded this. I'm not sure because I don't remember when it came out on the PC, which is Baldur's Gate 3. It is a time suck, but it is. I'm only through the first act. I'm probably like 24 hours into it. And it is how these kind of games should be written and done, full stop. And even though I'm playing on the Xbox, which it takes some time to get used to the controls, just because on the mouse it's a lot easier just to click on spells and whatnot and things that you want to cast. But the story thus far is fantastically told. The voice acting is amazing. The sheer amount of decision trees that wind up happening, where I mean, you and I have not done this because I'm only through the first of 3 acts. But I've seen, I've watched YouTube videos on everything. I mean, it's taking over my mind. Is there could be like hours of content and cutscenes that you never see because of a decision you made to be, to save someone or not to save someone.
Right.
3 hours ago or whatever.
Right.
And so the replayability of it is just beyond compare of anything. I've played a lot of video games in my life, and I've even played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 back in the Commodore 64 and well, was that Commodore 64? Was Baldur's Gate 1 64? It might have not have been. It might have been PC as well. I can't remember. But I played them both. But they've made a game that is impeccable, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you're not playing it, if you can get sucked into a video game and it control your life, I suggest you don't play it, because you will instantly be
I should probably not play it then.
drawn in. But the story, the acting, the voice acting, the I mean, normally in a lot of these games similar to this, I would skip over cutscenes.
Mhm.
You do not. I mean, it's like watching a freaking film
Hmm.
every single time. It's and again, your decisions matter. Everything you do matters in what happens next. And there's been a lot of video games that have promised that in the past, but this seemingly does. Now, I mean, of course, there's some things that they are automatically they're gonna kind of path you down, but there are also ways that you could just yeah. If you were to play it, and not re-roll something, in fact, when I was having this conversation with somebody that my rolls have been so terrible, and so sometimes I'll say, okay, you can re-roll with Inspire with it, 5th edition, but the in the game rather, but sometimes you don't have the option to re-roll and you're just stuck with that decision. And some people will just back up and go back to a previous save and start it again or whatever. But if you were just to go with just whatever happens, it'll tell you the story and it'll unfold uniquely for you each time. It's I cannot speak too highly about it. I'm sure you can purchase it possibly through Amazon. I don't know, to be honest with you. There's probably a physical media version of it, but if you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon/is Baldur's Gate here, you can find out for yourself.
It's always good to find out for yourself. And John is correct in that if you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, or if you go to the website and you click the Amazon link at the top of the site, you will go to Amazon just like you've gone to Amazon, because you'll have gone to Amazon. And anything you purchase during that session will give us kickbacks. And you'll notice a note that is at the top of the page, basically on every page of the website, because the FTC and Amazon and all these people think that we are all idiots and have to be told. They actually want me to put a notice by every single link reminding you that that Need Coffee makes money off of you buying stuff from the link, even though it says it at the top of the page. And basically they think that you have the memory of a goldfish. So anyway, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. The last reason I said I should not play that game is because the last game like that I actually oh yeah, there you go, Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, that looks amazing. Is that one of the cutscenes?
No, it's a birthday party decoration kit for Baldur's Gate 3.
Wow.
I did a search, so it does not look like you can get the game there, because I think it is only available for download.
Okay.
But you can get the official guide, you can get the stickers, you can get stuffies, you can get art inspired by it.
I love the birthday party set. That's great.
But the birthday party, if you knew it is probably not appropriate for the age that might be intended. The game might not be.
That's great.
There is sex that occurs in that stuff.
Okay.
So.
No, there you go. You can have the cupcake toppers. Anyway, but no, the last game I got that tied into was Myst back in the day, and I played through the entire game in like 2 weeks, doing nights until it was like, oh, it's 3:00 in the morning. I should go to fucking bed. I got to go to work. And it was so bad that I went somewhere shortly after I finished it. And anytime I saw a weird looking device, I just wanted to go up and touch it to see if it would do something. That's how, because I'd been for 2 weeks, I've been playing like 10 hours of Myst a night. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was nuts. But I blew through it in like 2 weeks. And it was awesome.
Jesus.
It was awesome, though. It was an awesome game. Although I was so used to like playing Doom at that point that anytime something showed up, I thought it was going to kill me, even though you couldn't die in the game. Like T, I was on the phone with T, and we're working through this. We're sort of both playing it at the same time, and he was, oh my God, what is that? He's like, those are butterflies. You cannot die in the game. Just
Yeah.
relax. So yeah. Anyway, my recommendation is going to be, and I don't think I've recommended this before, but it's from a couple of releases from Analog Africa. This is the
Ooh.
record label that is finding rare and out of print stuff from Africa and South America, but and I'm addicted to them. I basically play a lot of them on my shows, but they have 2 releases. They're called African Scream Contest, volumes 1 and volume 2, and they are, the first one is from Togo and Benin, and the second one is from Benin, and it's one of those things where it's, I don't know, it's weird in that all of this like funk records, the idea that you would have funk in Indonesia at the same time you had funk here. I
Yeah.
mean,
And it
or
was
shortly
bigger.
thereafter. What's that?
And I think what's interesting about funk, and one of the things that
Mhm.
I've sort of picked up from your show, is that funk and a lot of the soul stuff that is coming out around the world that sort of like
Mhm.
took the American stuff and ran away from it, but they like went full on ADHD with it. And
Yeah.
it was like much more like a lot of the pop music coming out of Iran in the 60s and stuff. They took like the British invasion, American stuff, like to the end factor. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all feet in the pool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of like that.
Well, I love to basically, once you realize, because, I hadn't thought about that before, but it makes total sense. You just go, huh? Like you were talking about, wonder what they did with jazz in Cambodia. Wonder what hip hop sounds like in
Yeah.
Ukraine. So you could go and find that stuff.
French
why-
hip hop's amazing, by the way.
What's that?
French hip hop is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, can I jump back? Can I pivot
Yes,
back for a second?
What? Yes, go for
You
it.
reminded me that there's a new album coming out from Kerrang Bin, who are amazing, and they're touring
Okay.
in October. So if you've never seen Kerrang Bin, they're from Thailand.
Oh, yeah. I've they put out a Late Night Tales release.
Yes, and there's another new record coming. When your wife was in Thailand, I was going to give her a list of the albums and stuff they put out in over there before they came out over here, but I'm like, I'm not subjecting anyone to that. So, but yes, they're just fantastic. So, and Asian Dub Foundation too. If you want to know what techno music sounded like with tablas, that's what
Yes.
you listen.
And they did a great song with Sinead O'Connor.
Oh yeah. That's kind of what got me the deep dive.
Thousand
back into it.
Mirrors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the deep dive is just ridiculous. But yeah, if you ever are bored and you're sitting on Spotify and you're like, just take a genre and a geographical region or a country,
Yes.
and then smash them together and just search on it and see what you get.
like
And it's going to be interesting, whatever it is.
yeah, like just look up like Bulgarian electronica or like
Yeah.
Fijian soul or you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's fascinating.
but there is just like I can't stop talking about Sudanese jazz. I think people are I was at the bar the other night talking about it with somebody, and I thought I was going to get killed because they wanted to talk about fucking Dickens, and I was talking about Sudanese jazz.
Dickens, as in Charles Dickens.
Yes.
See, that sounds like a hell of a great conversation.
Well, the guy
They-
was
They wanted
doing
to talk about Dickens. I wanted to talk about Sudanese jazz.
he was doing a dissertation on him,
Oh,
and he says, "Oh, did you ever have to do any dissertations?" I said, "No, dissertations for me are when I take deep dives into music and don't come back for a week. Things like Sudanese jazz." And he's like, "What?" And I explained to him like, "Well, I just sort of." He goes, "Are you the only one that listens to that?" I'm like, "No,
yeah.
no."
Yeah.
No. Yeah. There's so the other thing I need to find is Tricky did a show with the London Philharmonic
Yeah.
It's supposed to be on YouTube, but I have to find it.
Okay.
It's Tricky with an orchestra. Come on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to what was it? The reincarnated, basically deluxe edition of Maxinquay.
How was it?
The songs that he's redone, they're like not even the songs anymore. And I don't quite understand what those are. There's a couple I liked, but I mean,
the first album is so perfect.
It is. And part of it is because it was him and Martina Topley-Bird. And, you know, she's not involved. So it's just, you know, it's the new stuff is okay. And the remixes
those
are okay.
first three Tricky records first two are solid. The third one's kind of hit and miss. And then after that, it's all spotty, but
it's spotty. Yeah. Are you including Nearly God in that, or is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's okay. He's still fantastic. So
yeah, that's good. But anyway, so that's and just, you know, if you're bored, go check out Analog Africa, any of their stuff.
Yeah, is that did they put out the Sudanese cell phone record? Or Saharan cell
Yeah,
phone?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know if that's them or not.
Yeah, I wish someone could have experienced the sheer glee that was when I found that.
But I was thrilled when you told me about it. I was like, what? Huh? Oh, Jesus. Yes, please.
Yes.
But yeah, so that or random searches on Spotify. It'll just be warned, pack a sandwich, and tell someone to come check on you after a certain amount of time has passed.
Yeah.
Yep. So that brings us to the end of another episode of Weekend Justice, our first episode of 2024, since everything has been crazy. 2024 promises to just be as insane as 2023 with interest. So, so as we lounge in the crater that was the last couple of hours of our lives, I think it's only fair that we stand up, look around the no man's land that the evening has become, and say, there's nothing else to say other than Sudanese jazz.
Sudanese jazz. It's jazz.
The magic's in the notes that they don't play.
Yeah.
Maybe the Sudanese jazz was the friends we met along the way. I don't know.
Well, it's been 2024 for you folks.
Yep, that's 2024 in a nutshell. I'd like to pull a Karnak.
Yay.
Botswanan harp music.
Botswana harp music and a sheep. Open the envelope. I don't know what the question would be, but I'm sure it would be hilarious. Oh my God.
Well, John needs to go to sleep.
Yes, I do.
Yes, John needs to sleep. We hope.
Need to go play Baldur's Gate 3 some more.
I understand.
Nice.
Just, grab the rope and yank it if you need to get pulled out.
Yeah.
Unless I'm not mistaken, that's a sexual reference?
Yes.
About 50-60%.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, so
All right, Baldrick.
yes, so we're staying and letting this update, and then we're not going to be live.
Correct. Let me end the stream now.